What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another edition of the evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show on a happy hump day? Will it play? Did you guys hear that? I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Let me know. 3 things. Bring your passion. Bring our excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we will have former NFL quarterback Mr. Seneca Wallace on with us, talking what else about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the offensive coordinator search, most likely recap those championship games to set up Super Bowl 59. The question still exists for you guys. Do you care about this Super Bowl at all? And no sound effects. So love it. Got to love it. Yes. Yes, that's exactly what I wanted tonight. That's exactly what I wanted to hear. Boom. Yes, I love technology. Technology is great. Okay. All right. So yeah, we'll have Seneca Wallace hopefully on here in about 10-15 minutes. We will have Mark Mancini, Return of the Madman, talking WWE Royal Rumble. and also Ralph Williams, but definitely want to get into the latest news with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And as always, we'll take your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Obviously, I have to bring this sound effects because whatever I'm doing is not working at this point. And it's, me, Ray Kennedy, it drives me crazy when I can't get tech to work my way. Everything seems to be driving me crazy. You know what drove me crazy the other day? Hearing Liam Cohen talk at the press conference about honesty is the best policy, just paraphrasing. But the Bucs had the last laugh. This is where I need my sound effect at this point. The Jaguars requested to interview Bucs offensive line coach Kevin Carberry and were basically told, nope, no soup for you. They blocked the interview at this point. According to Greg Auman, just looking at the comments, the Bucs have said that they are not going to allow anybody, just paraphrasing again, anybody to interview unless they are moving up in the ranks. So Liam Cohen, there you go. That's what you get for being a lying, cheating snake right there. You get blocked. So I'm going to go out to the comments as always. And again, we will take your phone calls, talk about the offensive coordinator. Who would you like to see as the new Bucs offensive coordinator at this point? Do you want to stay in-house here with Josh Grizzard, or do you want to go out of house at this point? Some other Bucs news here. Baker Mayfield, of course, now will replace Jaden Daniels in the Pro Bowl. So the second straight year, he is going to be there. The Pro Bowl games. Do you care about that? Do you care about Super Bowl 59? Do you care about the Pro Bowl games? I guess it's okay. I guess it's all right. I mean, if you're desperate for football, if you want to see, stuff like flag football, as hopefully the phone line will work tonight because it seems like everything else doesn't work. Let's see if this will work tonight. Let's go out to the phone lines. What's your name? Where you calling from? You're on the Evolution.
Hey, Peter, it's Abraham. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great,
happy
Abraham.
Hump Day.
Yes, happy hump day to you too, buddy.
Yeah, so you brought up one topic. I've seen all the candidates that they interviewed. I see that guy, forgot his name. They say he was with the Patriots. And the thing, he's not really my favorite because he was a tight ends coach.
Okay.
An offensive coordinator. I like Shieldhouse because he's developed some really good players.
Like Shieldhouse too. And the guy you're talking about, I believe is Rams tight end coach here, Nick Caley. They completed that virtual interview today. So they have been talking to the Rams and that Rams staff trying to get Sean McVay's coaching tree there. First two NFL seasons in 15 and 16, Caley served as an offensive coaching assistant. He spent 10 years coaching in the college ranks before that. He joined the Rams before 2023 season after coaching tight ends for the Patriots for 6 seasons, and he doubled as a fullbacks coach in New England from 17 to 21. So you don't like that move. Why don't you like that?
Well, I mean, the thing about Shieldhouse is he's a quarterback. He was a collegiate quarterback.
Correct.
He's actually called plays as an offensive coordinator at the collegiate level.
Fair enough.
And as for a pretty good program, he's worked with really good. He developed two good running backs that came to the NFL, Breece Hall and David Montgomery.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, they're pretty good. And he's developed two good receivers that are going to come out this year's draft. And he's worked with Rocco Beck last year when he was a freshman, and I mean he had a pretty decent, prolific offense. I mean, and he's got a lot of energy, like Sean McVay, a young guy with a lot of energy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I know the other guys work with tight ends, but I like the fact a person who can think from a quarterback's mindset. Plus, he's actually Sean McVay's right hand man because Sean McVay tells him what to do, and he draws all the plays for the team. So he's got an inner working of Sean McVay's offensive mind and thinking. Okay, so I mean, tight end position maybe that's good, but I prefer somebody who's got a quarterback's mindset to run an offense.
Fair enough. What do you think about in-house candidate and Josh Grizzard here, who worked on this Buccaneer staff with Liam Cohen, and of course was a part of that third down And the reason why you like that, because the Bucs were number one in third down conversion. So you keep the continuity with this offense, you keep it in-house. And I know a lot of people are saying, this guy hasn't called plays before. This guy hasn't called plays before. Well, Dave Canales didn't call plays, did pretty well, although he had a bumps in the road there. Liam Cohen called some plays, but didn't have all the, all the experience like a lot of people are saying out there. So I understand the point. But what about a Josh Grizzard?
I would give Josh Grizzard another year, but I'd probably promote him to assistant offensive coordinator and letting him learn from Shieldhouse. Because Shieldhouse can think like a quarterback. He's worked with running backs. He's worked with all parts of an offense. So, I mean, because you know what? Inevitably, somebody's going to go after him for him. Then Grizzard could take over from him. So, I mean, I think Grizzard needs to learn under Shieldhouse because I think he needs another year to learn because he's actually never called plays. Maybe he should be more involved in the play calling next year. But I slowly ease him into that. But all
right,
you know what? Somebody's going to take Shieldhouse after a year if they hire him or whoever they hire. But I mean, I'd rather go with somebody who's got a good track record of developing pretty solid players that are NFL ready. So
all right, that's fair enough. So your thoughts on the Liam Cohen situation? Because I've had everybody, and I know everybody's going to say move on. Go ahead.
I'm not against somebody trying to get it better themselves, but this is not the way you go about it. I'm sorry, I can't use profanity, so I'm not doing it, but it's not a good move. I mean, it's just like when I heard it, I'm like, dude, are you kidding me?
Yes.
He said he's going to stay.
Yes.
And then he in a very sneaky way and not being honest. He's talking about honesty and stuff. He's not being honest with anybody about what he's doing in Jacksonville. So, and also I think that, hey man, I don't know. He's got some weapons, but there's a lot of work to do over there. And that owner, I just don't like that owner because that owner does not know how to build a winning culture because he just keeps screwing people over.
You
got to stick with your coach through good times and bad times.
It's a revolving door, Abraham. It's the reason why they're such a bad organization, and it kind of reminds me of what the Bucs were in the 80s and the early 90s. Kids, go ahead and YouTube that and Google it because it was awful times, and it was always a revolving door of coaches, whether it was at the time you had John McKay, and then you had Lehman Bennett, and then you had Ray Perkins, and then you had Richard Williamson, and then you had Sam Weiss, and then you had Tony Dungy. And for a while there, you had Tony Dungy, and then eventually you went with John Gruden. But it was always a revolving door, and it's always been like that with bad organizations. You look at the Cleveland Browns, you look at the Chicago Bears, and this is why I continue to caution people who want to fire Todd Bowles, and I get it. He has some things that he needs to work on. When you continue to fire coaches over and over again, you rinse and repeat, then that makes your organization look bad. And it means you're desperate. And it means you're changing systems. You're changing this. You're changing that. And the great organizations, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs, say whatever you want to. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, say whatever you want to. But they have the continuity there. And if they lose coordinators, they still have their coach. They don't change coaches all the time. It doesn't work out very well. And that's the reason why it's not going to work out with the Jacksonville Jaguars, because it has been a revolving door. He took a plane ticket, or he's got a ticket to the Titanic, and he's going down with the ship.
Yeah, exactly. And what's the guarantee how long he's going to be there? I mean, he may bolt back to college after a couple of years, saying collegiate level.
Yeah.
I mean, So I don't know, because looking at how he's jumped around here and there, it's just, he's a good offensive mind. But you know what? You got to have talented players like Baker Mayfield, Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and you got Cade Otton, you got the solid offensive line. The talent was there for him to show his, abilities.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's all Liam Cohen. It's all the talent that they had on the offense that they built. So, and it's something that's built over the years, and it's like, you know what? He just happened to, maximize the potential of all the players he had. But you know what? That's fine. I think it's a blessing in disguise. I think, you know what? Suppose all those fans will keep saying Liam Cohen for head coach. Now, you know what? We can move on from this and find somebody even who could take him to the next level. So, I mean, because I didn't like some of his play calling in the playoffs, especially that that one thing that Baker bumped into McMillan and dropped that fumble. I think that's on Cohen. So bad play calling. I mean, even though Baker, said it's on me, but it's you know what, the offensive coordinator could have called a better play, and he's made some bad calls too. But you know what, you got talented players, so they make somebody look really really like a genius. I mean, he's come from a good tree, but you know what, we got to find somebody else to replace him. Let's just move on from him.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Do you care about Super Bowl 59? Why or why not? And do you care about the Pro Bowl games here coming up here?
Yeah, actually, I went to the Pro Bowl last year, and Baker won the MVP, and I went with my friend from Fort Myers.
Mm-hmm.
So I live in Lakeland, so just hit down I-4 or there. I mean, I'm on, yeah, I do, because I got to see Baker and Tristan Wirfs. He was participating in that big strongman thing. Baker won the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
He led a winning drive. I mean, at least nobody's getting hurt. But yeah, I would like to see Mike Evans and Baker hook up for a touchdown. And I like to see Tristan Wirfs again and Vita Vea probably in the strongman competition too. So
okay. Fair enough.
I love it. It's a great fan experience.
Okay.
It's not tackle football, but you know what? It's a great experience for fans.
Okay, that's
and
fair.
as far
Mike
as
Evans and Mike,
Super Bowl,
by the way, Mike Evans is in the Pro Bowl.
The Eagles,
by the way. Yes.
Because
okay.
Well, I mean, I'm tired of seeing. I'm tired of seeing the Chiefs win every year. And then number two is that you know what, the Eagles, they were in the Super Bowl a couple years ago, and then they had a sudden decline. I know they lost the Bucs in the playoffs, but you know what, they rebuilt and then they came out stronger. And I hope they finish. So that's motivation for the Bucs. Hey, we got knocked out of the playoffs earlier than we did the year before. Now we can just look what the Eagles did and rebuild through the draft and rebuild through the offseason. I don't know how much cap space we got to get any kind of free agents, but maybe we can get back and up to the big dance again, over the mountaintop.
I definitely think they have some cap space. Of course, getting over that Tom Brady cap hit. Now you're 2 years removed from that, so they should be able to work, and we'll see what Jason Light and this organization has in store. Abraham, appreciate the call. Use that second call if you like to, my friend. Don't be a stranger, okay?
Yeah, not a problem. Have a great. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely, man. Appreciate you as always. Good stuff there. Open phone line 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. So we'll go out to the webheads here, expecting guests. If guests don't come on, then you guys talk to me. You guys text in. You guys call in. We'll talk Tampa Bay Buccaneer football. We'll talk about, what you want to see. What's your wish list? Is it edge rusher at this point? Is it middle linebacker? Is it corner? And the Senior Bowl is going on as we speak. So there are some prospects that have been on display, and we'll get a chance to see them on Saturday. Let's go out to the phone lines. Trevor, is this Trevor?
Yes, this is Trevor. How you doing, Peter?
Trevor from North Carolina. Welcome to the Evolution. I'm doing great, my friend. I like to have my sound effects back, and my stupid laptop would work right. But I think what it is, and we figured it out here, it's updates, it's update drivers, something along those lines. It's always something simple, but always something. It's devil's in the details, right? It's like football. You miss this, you miss that. It doesn't necessarily work. I made this cake. It's got to be great. And I'm talking about making cakes. I could burn a cake. I could burn a grilled cheese at this point. But when you bake a cake, you got to have all the ingredients. And if all the ingredients aren't there, it's not going to work. With that being said, enough of me venting about my technological disadvantages here. What's on your mind, Trevor?
The last couple of weeks I've been rather quiet, just been kind of just listening to the frustration of all the the Buccaneers fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. I understand both sides,
right?
As far as Liam Cohen,
correct.
Like I get, okay, his goal was to be a head coach, right? Because I paid attention when I remember during the season, it was late in the season, the regular season, they asked him about his head coaching jobs. He kind of downplayed, but he did say, "Is it a goal to be a head coach eventually?" Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so to me, I took that, I'm like, okay, I know, okay, he's looking to be a head coach. So it wouldn't surprise me if he wanted, if he went somewhere else and became a head coach.
Right.
And so I get it from a business point, from his career standpoint, what he wants to do for his family. opportunity to be a head coach in the NFL, I can understand it from his standpoint, from that point of view. I also, from a fan's point of view, and from just front office point of view, can understand the frustrations of saying, "Hey, bro, like we'll make you the highest paid offensive coordinator if you don't take that second interview with Jacksonville," and he agrees to it and he signs it, and then trying to contact him, he's nowhere to be found, only to find out, hey, he's on a first class to freaking Jacksonville to be the next head coach for the Jaguars. So I get both sides. What I will say, all in all, I think we're going to be fine. Okay. Jason Light, he's a damn good GM. You know what I mean? He's done an excellent job. He's done an excellent job with re-signing the players that we've wanted to keep, our core players. And then I also have faith in Todd Bowles. People give him hell all the time, but hey, he was the one that hired Liam Cohen. So, if we're being fair as a head coach, some fans are going to look at me sideways when I say this, but he deserves some credit for how that offense played this year. If we're looking at it from that standpoint, because he was the one that hired Liam Cohen, right? And so I have faith in him, and a lot of people want to, give him a hard time about the defense. Okay, I mean, if you look at the past 5 years, we have not really had that much cap room due to like the 2020 year, when we went all in and won the Super Bowl.
Correct.
But also, if you look at it, these last couple of years, we've retooled that offensive line. We've allocated a lot of our resources via draft to the offense, getting guys like, Graham Barton, Jalen McMillan, just to name a few, Bucky Irvin. We've hit and miss on some draft picks, but most of them have been core. I think this is the first off season that we're going to have opportunity to have some decent cap space to really focus on the defense. You know what I mean? And as far as our offensive coordinator situation, look, I got faith in the offense. I got faith in Baker. I got faith in Mike. You know what I mean? I got faith in our O-line. I got faith in our receivers and tight ends.
Sure.
I think any offensive coordinator and anybody looking to be an offensive coordinator would love to grab this gig down here in Tampa. We got all the pieces to have a great offense. And, I think anybody, whether that be, I know they're looking at a lot of Rams assistants because I guess they want to kind of keep it similar system.
Correct.
But,
they also had an interview with quarterback coach, and they concluded that interview with Dave Ragone. So they have been looking a lot at the Rams offense. They love what the Rams have. They want to continue with that tree. It makes sense because listen, you say whatever you want to about Cohen and his cringe interview, and it's not Duval, it's Duval. How do you say it? How are you supposed to say it? It's Duval. It's not It's not Duval. It's not some weird stuff that he said. It's Duval. That's how you say it. That's how you gotta. It's easy. You can't make it that difficult. And yeah, he may be cringe, but he was very successful with this Bucs offense last year. So they want to duplicate that. And I understand that from that Rams system and that Rams tree from Sean McVay. So it makes lots of sense here. But they're looking at lots of Rams assistants, couple Rams assistants there. So 3 Rams assistants. Yeah.
I think, any of those guys are even if it's outside the Rams, should be chopping at the bit to get down here, because here's one thing that they'll know, whoever gets this job. One, they're going to have a lot of talent to work with. And two, if they do a good job, they might end up being a head coach the following year.
Correct.
You know what I mean? So,
fast track to the NFL is through Tampa Bay as being a head coach. Dave Canales, offensive coordinator, coach with the Carolina Panthers. Now Liam Cohen, offensive coordinator last year. Now the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I think we're going to be fine. In fact, I know this sounds crazy, and I know September is a very long time from now.
Right.
But if all in all, in our team, if we make the right hires, which I believe we will, I have faith in our front office.
Mhm.
And we draft well, get a couple free agents to tool up that defense, and like I said, the draft.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to be a damn good team going into 2025.
Absolutely. You got the weapons here. I mean, we continue to talk
do,
about it. I mean, yeah, coaching matters. It matters a lot. And there is some concern with losing Cohen and having that continuity, and you would like to have that continuity. But Baker Mayfield over his career has shown really doesn't matter. I mean, it does matter, but then it doesn't matter because he's been a productive quarterback, a highly productive quarterback last year with 41 touchdowns and 16 interceptions. And again, you like to keep the continuity, but it is what it is. But yes, you do have the players on this team. You do have Mayfield. You do have Evans. You would assume that you're going to have Godwin, but let's say you don't have Godwin. You have Jalen McMillan, who stepped up last year, Cade Otton, Culp, Payne Durham, Bucky Irvin, Rashad White, Sean Tucker, and a young offensive line that will only get better because they're gelling together at this point, right, Trevor?
Yeah, I'll say this also. Buck fans, as much criticism as mainly Todd Bowles get, but if you really look at it, despite us winning the division, right, despite us being in the playoffs, these last couple of years have been rebuild years. So for all these fans that are just so ungrateful and everything, my thing is this: we've had the opportunity to not only win and be in the playoffs, but rebuild this team.
Yeah.
And a lot of teams, when they go through rebuild modes, they are flat out terrible. You know what I mean? But it's safe to say that we fixed the offense.
Yep.
Right? Now it's time to put our attention on the defense. And if we do that right, whether fans believe it or not, this is actually us rebuilding. And we've had the opportunity to not only rebuild and win at the same time. That is that is the dream of so many fans.
You're retooling at this point because you were supposed to be rebuilding. You had this Tom Brady cap hit. You're supposed to be in cap hell. You're supposed to have a terrible record. You're supposed to lose the worst division in football. But you had guys that had developed right before our eyes. I mean, Bucky Irving, how impressive was he last year for this running attack? How impressive was Graham Barton? I get it. He had some misfires there. Of course, people remember that Washington Commanders game, the wild card game there with the misfire, but that's going to happen with the rookie. But how impressive, Tyke Smith, impressive. Jalen McMillan, we just talked about it. Devin Culp, when he had an opportunity to step up. I mean, Luke Gedeke from a couple years ago. I mean, this is a relatively very young team that's only going to get better. And you're exactly right, Trevor. Nobody expected them to be competitive because they're supposed to be rebuilding. And that's a credit to Todd Bowles. That is a credit to this team continuing to play for Todd Bowles. And that's the reason why he's not going to be fired. As long as this team continues to play for him, you're going to have to see some improvement. But that's the reason why I kind of laugh and scoff at people. This team never gives up. The players never give up on Bowles as a coach. Never.
They don't. And like I said, if we are able to fix this defense, which I believe we'll have an opportunity to, because we'll, we get to pay, I think this is a year where we might bring in a piece here, a piece there offensively, but the priority is definitely going to be the defense.
Yeah.
And if we bring in the right pieces and God blesses us and not, curse us with the injury bug, I'm telling you, Bucs fans, we're going to have an incredible season next year.
Yeah, we need to knock on wood for the injury bug because the injury bug attacked us. It was like a giant mosquito with encephalitis that just, spread across this team. I know that's graphic at this point, but it seemed like it was stigmata for the whole year with all the injuries, especially Antoine Winfield Jr. Knock on wood. Let's get Antoine Winfield Jr. back to what Winfield Jr. was just a couple years ago as the best safety in the league because he was nowhere near that. And you definitely got to stay healthy. And it's a war of attrition. And listen, it's going to happen because there's NFL players right now that don't get the reps like they used to. But, man, we definitely need to knock on wood. And it's even more important for Jason Light and this organization to go into the draft and draft guys for depth. Because if you lose a Jamel Dean, you don't want to depend on the greatness of Josh Hayes. He's a rookie, but he played like a rookie. He wasn't very good. You don't want to depend on Funderburk. You want to have somebody, and listen, they may cut their losses. At this point, Trevor, what's your biggest need right now for this Tampa Bay Buccaneer team? Is it edge rusher? Is it linebacker? Is it corner? Is it even maybe safety? Because you could move from a Jordan Whitehead, who I thought was largely disappointing.
For me, you know, I want that elite pass rusher, me personally.
Okay.
I think we need help on all three levels. Linebacker, D-line, DBs. We need help at all three levels.
Sure.
For me personally,
yeah.
What I've seen was, you know, in watching football for all these years I've watched it and playing football, when you have a front four or four or a 3-4, however, you know, whatever the defense is.
Correct.
If your front four or front three can attack the pass, the quarterback, the back seven usually ends up playing better. You know what I mean? Despite, you know, you may not have the best linebackers, you may not have the best corners or safeties, but if your front four or front three can get home consistently, that's going to create turnovers, and that starts up front. So me personally, I want us to get an elite pass rusher, you know, because, you know, you look at Kalijah Cansey and even Vita Vea. For them to be D tackles, I think they're some of the best pass rushing D tackles in the league, me personally.
Agree.
If we're able to get them an elite defensive end, you know, me personally, I would love for us to trade a first-round pick and go get Myles Garrett. That's me.
That's me too. That's me too. I'm on that train at this point. Go for it. I mean, if you had to trade 2 first-round picks, guess what? You know, that may be the final piece for this defense. As crazy as that sounds, and I get it, you have needs at linebacker and you have needs at corner and possibly safety. But at the end of the day, we all know what this defense is predicated on. You look at the Philadelphia Eagles, how they got after Jaden Daniels. Make no mistake about it. You know, Kansas City, good defense because they can get after it. When you got pass rushers that can get after the quarterback and take the pressure off of your back end, take the pressure off of your linebackers, it makes it that much easier. I mean, apply what you know. How great was this defense? And remember, the Bucs won the Super Bowl 37 on Sunday 22 years ago. How important was Simeon Rice to that defense being the final piece to that line? How important was he? Because what? He gets after the quarterback and he takes the pressure off of Warren Sapp, because guess what? You can't double on him anymore. And like, you can double and triple team on a Vita Vea, you can double and triple on a Kalijah Cansey, but let's say you get a guy like a Myles Garrett. Now you're going to have to play one-on-one. You're going to have to double on somebody else, which will free up somebody. That's why it's so important to get that edge rusher, and maybe they go in free agency. And you look at Jason Light in the past, JPP for a 3rd-round pick, Shaq Barrett for a 1-year deal. Can you find somebody in free agency? I think you got to find a veteran. I think you got to make a bold move there. I think you got to go out and get a Garrett or a Crosby. And look, these teams are not going to give them away. But if you have to trade, you know, premium picks to get one of those, I'm all about that. I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah, because like, to me, we can, if you look at our past, like even with our secondary players, just like you were saying, like if we trade 2 first-round picks, we'll, you know, there's still first-round values in those second rounds.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Especially with Jason Light picking. Right. Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I'm fine with us saying, hey, let's make a bold move. Let's say, the hell with this.
Yes.
We need us a pass rusher. Cleveland, we want Myles Garrett. We will give you 2 first-round picks for him.
Yeah.
And then let the chips fall in the draft. There's, like I said, and there's usually first-round value in the 2nd round, because most teams are looking for they're looking for that next pass rusher. Obviously, they're looking for a quarterback, wide receiver. You know, a lot of positions that kind of get overlooked in that 1st round is the secondary and sometimes linebacker. So, and there's 1st-round talent that don't necessarily get drafted in the 1st round. So there will still be 1st-round value in that 2nd round. So we could still not only go after Myles Garrett, but still have a pretty damn good draft. You know what I
Agree.
mean? That's just me, and I know, like, if myself and you know this, you better damn well know that Jason Light knows that. You know what I mean? Because he's
Well,
been doing this for years.
he's been doing it for years, and he's been knocking out the ballpark here the last couple years here. And I think still, Yaya Diaby, and they're not giving up on him. He still could be a premium pass rusher, but either hurt or not able, to win those one-on-ones. Chris Braswell, I know they invested a second round pick in him, so they haven't given up on him. But listen, at the end of the day, if you get a Myles Garrett or a Max Crosby, look at what they could do for those young players in a Diaby or in a Braswell. That's the reason why. And those are things that a lot of fans don't consider, but you got to believe that a lot of teams like the Bucs would consider it. It's valuable. It's invaluable, if you will, to have, those that veteran presence to teach guys how to be professionals and teach guys this and that and the other thing. Look at Ndamukong Suh and what kind of impact he made on Vita Vea. And still making that.
I was just about to bring him up because in 2018 we went and got JPP.
Yes.
Okay, and in 2019 we went out and got Shaq Barrett.
Yes.
And we got Ndamukong Suh. And all of a sudden, that defense was firing on all cylinders.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so, hey, like I said, that's another reason why I'm not worried about this, because I got faith in Jason Light. He's been finding pieces, respectfully, no disrespect to Liam Cohen, but he's been figuring this thing out before Liam Cohen even got there.
Correct.
No respect to him.
Agree.
So if he was figuring it out before Liam Cohen, I got faith that he will figure this out after Liam Cohen. You know
Absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely, my friend. All right, let me ask you really quick, because we got Frankie from Wisconsin. I saw you called. Call back in, Frankie. The hill mark right there. I know it's your night. Care about the Pro Bowl at this point?
Do I care about it?
Yeah.
I'll say yes or no. What I mean by that is I'm happy for our players to get an opportunity to put that on their resume.
Okay.
Because that can, you're talking about Hall of Fame votes.
Sure.
I definitely think that boosts your resume. So seeing Mike Evans get into the Pro Bowl to go along with his, numbers, 11 straight 1,000-yard seasons, that's just going to boost his case for even more. It was good to see Baker finally get some sort of recognition. He should have already been a Pro Bowler instead of being an alternate to begin with. To me, he was a top 3 or 4 NFC quarterback this year.
Sure.
But as far as will I be watching it? Probably not. You know what I mean?
You're not watching it with bated breath. You're not sitting down with your popcorn. You're not getting your popcorn ready, if you will. Like Owen said some years ago, you're not enthralled with the Pro Bowl games.
No, I tell you, it would probably be fun if I was actually there. It's in Orlando, right?
It is in Orlando, yes.
Yeah, so if I was in that
Tampa
area,
Bay, Ray Kennedy's trying to get everybody to go out there. I'm probably not going to, although I did make a trip out to Orlando doing Uber, so I don't know. I didn't plan on making a trip out there. And the only way I make a trip out there is if we're credentialed media at this point, and we could do some shows. That's the only way I'm doing it. I'm not going there as a fan. I ain't doing it. It's going to cost too much.
Yeah, exactly. So, for me, it's if I was in the area and, it was nothing to do that day.
Right.
And it's hey, let's go check out the Pro Bowl. Okay, cool. I would do that. But, am I about to sit here on a Sunday and watch the Pro Bowl games and all that kind of stuff? Probably not. It's more, to me, it's more so for the people that's in the local area and then obviously the players. So
correct. All right.
Yes and no.
Super Bowl 59. You interested in that? Who you rooting for?
I hate both teams. I hate Philly. I always will.
Right.
Watching Ronde Barber get that pick 6 in that NFC title game.
Yes.
Was the greatest feeling in the world.
I mean, when you saw that, by the way, where were you? Because I didn't, and I'm going to ask Bucs fans this tonight because we didn't get a chance to do it on Monday, and I slipped my mind. Where were you 22 years ago to Sunday when when the Bucs win that Super Bowl? Because I felt like when Ronde Barber gets that interception versus the Eagles, they won the Super Bowl. At that point, to me, it's a foregone conclusion. because all you had to worry about at that juncture was, could the Bucs get over the top over the Philadelphia Eagles? And as soon as they beat the Eagles, I said they're going to win a Super Bowl. I don't care who they play. They're going to beat the Raiders, and they absolutely did. But where were you 22 years ago to Sunday when the Bucs won Super Bowl 37?
Yeah, that kind of reminded me of that same analogy that you just talked about. When we beat the Saints in 2020, I knew we was going to win.
Correct. I mean, I thought the same way. The same way.
That was our biggest hurdle. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That 2020 was like, if we can, because they beat the hell out of us. The second time was a 38-3. And I was like, God, we got to play them again.
Yes.
But anyway, back to your question though. Where was I during the Super Bowl?
Correct.
It was my freshman year in high school.
Okay.
I was at my dad's house and I watched the game, and he knew I was a big time Bucs fan, and so he was a Steelers fan.
Okay.
And you know, he was rooting my team on because it was our first Super Bowl appearance, and you know, he wanted us to win. And man, I'll never forget that night. I was watching it and I was going crazy. Like, I couldn't even sleep that night after we won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
It was because, like, yo, my favorite team literally just won the Super Bowl. Like, this is fucking insane. Excuse my language.
That's all right. So we speak a little French on this show. It's okay. You're a little slip there.
When your team wins it all, you know. I mean, it's like literally the greatest feeling in the world.
It is. I remember
lottery.
Driving around in my car around my neighborhood and just blaring. They had a Tampa Bay song. I'm trying to think of who did it. The artist here locally. Welcome to Tampa Bay. It was like Welcome to Atlanta, but it was Welcome to Tampa Bay. It was their Super Bowl song. And I remember just going down the street around and around, just blaring the music and just knowing that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, after all those years of, losing football, that they were Super Bowl champions. I definitely remember where I was, and I wish if there's something I could have wished for, I could take back. I wish I didn't go to work the next day. I shouldn't have gone to work the next day. I should have taken off, and I should have went to that celebration that night. Instead, I did quality resources at the time, and I regret that. I definitely regret that. And I regret not going to the boat parade, too, in 2020. So
you didn't go to the boat parade?
I didn't go to the boat parade. I'm not a boat person because I get on a boat, I got vertigo. So I get seasick or something along those lines. So I didn't want to do. I should have went to the boat parade, though. I should have went.
Yeah.
Damn
well, hey, it was a home Super Bowl, though. So, I was there in Tampa when we won it in 2020.
Right.
I didn't go to the boat parade either because I don't live down there, but I was down there in Tampa when we won the Super Bowl. And I remember that night specifically, it was insane in Tampa. Like,
yes,
you would have thought, like, everybody in that area just won $10 million or something. That's how happy everybody was.
I know. I remember it. Trevor, thanks a lot for the call, man. Use that second call if you want to. Okay, appreciate you, boss.
Yeah, no problem. Have a good one.
All right, man. Go Bucs. All right, open phone lines. I saw somebody called there from Sarasota. I believe that's Tim. And again, the Hill Mark there, Frankie from Wisconsin. Open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. Questions for the night. Do you care about the Pro Bowl games coming up this weekend here and this week? Do you care about Super Bowl 59? Who do you want to see to win? Kansas City, Philadelphia? Who would you like to see the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hire as an offensive coordinator? And by the way, let's throw it out there. Where were you in Super Bowl 37? 22 years to Sunday here. Let's go out to the Hill Mark. Frankie from Wisconsin. Welcome to the Evolution, my friend. What's on your mind tonight?
Woo! I got a lot to talk about.
I know. Go for it.
So, we got the offensive coordinator thing going on.
Sure.
And everybody is, I got my top 5 guys that I'm looking at, and a lot of people might look at me weird,
right,
with some of the names I might throw out here because some of them aren't even on the list.
Throw them out.
So, number 1, Dave Ragone. That's number 1 on my list.
Why is he number 1 on your list?
Dude, he knows our offense. You know what I'm saying?
Well, so do the other guys too. But why the quarterback coach with Matt Stafford? You like that?
Oh yeah, look what he does with Stafford. Okay. Now I'm telling you, there's some wild card. There's a lot of wild cards in here that nobody is talking about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, Alex Van Pelt.
See, this hasn't been mentioned, and I think the reason why it's not been mentioned is because Van Pelt had like the last ranking offense with the Patriots, but he has worked with Baker Mayfield before. So I'm surprised that you haven't heard his name, but I just think,
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Okay.
Right.
What else?
All right, number 3. Let's bring the guy back home, Josh McCown.
Josh McCown. So you like Josh McCown?
Yep.
Okay. He's done some good work there with the Minnesota Vikings. I know that the Bucs interviewed one of their candidates there. I believe it's Kevin Yadansky, 28 years old, also on the Viking staff. I mean, they know what they want. They either want a Rams assistant from that offense, or they want the Vikings, or they want the Chargers, or they interviewed Marcus Brady there. But I could see McCown. Definitely would be a good move.
I mean, he's played in Tampa. He knows the system.
Well, it's not just about system. It's the fact that he's getting rave reviews around. He's been a quarterback in the league. You're absolutely correct about that. Better as a Chicago Bear quarterback than with the Bucs.
Definitely.
Right. So he's got rave reviews around the league. So eventually he'll have
he was still loved in Tampa.
He was. I mean, can he coach? Can he coach this offense?
I don't know.
We'll see.
He did pretty dang good in Minnesota this year.
He did. He definitely was a big part of that. Absolutely. What else?
All right, number 4. Now, this is another wild card.
Okay.
And this man came out publicly and said he would love to coach this offense.
Okay.
Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
That's my number 4.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of fans out there who don't like Chip Kelly because he left the Bucs at the altar in 2012, but you have to give him consideration for what he did with Ohio State in that offense, and some of the things he kind of does are similar to what the Bucs want to do, although I don't know about the pace of the offense there. I don't necessarily think that's going to work in his favor. With that being said, I got to go out to my co-host here, Mr. And I don't have your music because the damn sound effects are not freaking working again. Frankie, hold on the line here. Let's go out to the Greek here, professional handicapper extraordinaire. What's going on? Opa. Yeah.
What's up? How you doing, Peter?
I'm doing good, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing really good. Now, who do we have on the line with us?
Frankie from Wisconsin. He's given us his candidates here. He's had Josh McCown. You had Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly, what do you think about Chip Kelly? Because I don't hate that move as an offensive coordinator. I think it could work as a coach. Maybe not as an offensive coordinator. Too fast? The pace.
The pace is too fast. The Chip Kelly, that experiment, it's just no good.
Speaking of fast, that cat was trying to get fast with you.
That was number 4 on my list. Okay, I have 5. That was number 4.
Okay, what's the 5th one, Frank?
The 5th one is we're just going to keep it in house and go with Grizzard.
Okay. So Grizzard and the cat wants to invade.
I don't even fight him anymore.
Yeah. All right. So talk about Chip Kelly really quick here. Welcome to the evolution, my friend. Can you hear me?
Talking to me?
I'm talking to Greek.
Chip Kelly. He's just. I'm sorry. I was waiting for Frankie to actually make.
Stand by, Frankie. Yes.
Chip Kelly, in my opinion, would not really fit for this type of offense. I mean, look, man. It was just phenomenal what he did when he came in the NFL. But how long did it take for them to figure out how to slow this high-powered offense down? Right. It was less than what would it last, like a season and a half, Pete?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't think Chip Kelly would be the answer here. No, I'm gonna veto that one.
Now, Greek. My other 3 I had were Dave Ragone.
Okay.
And then number 2 was Alex Van Pelt, and 3 was Josh McCown.
Now, Van Pelt, the reason why he mentions Alex Van Pelt, former quarterback, of course, in the league, and also worked with Baker Mayfield a few seasons, got the most out of Baker. But I think in a lot of NFL circles here, Greek, they're down on him because they had a terrible offense with the Patriots. Alex Van Pelt, would you like to see him as the offensive coordinator for the Bucs? Should the Bucs consider him as a candidate, or do you take what he did last year with a rookie quarterback and use that against him?
Great question, but I think you need to stop, and it all ends and stops with Josh McCown. I mean, he was a mediocre quarterback at best. He had a couple of good games in Chicago. He's got a brilliant mind when it comes to the game. He's played the position, and I think he would actually be a better OC than what just currently left, to be honest with you.
Wow. So Josh McCown right there.
It's not even close. I mean, that guy he's an absolute
You,
brilliant
man.
mind.
I told you it was a wild card that no one was even talking about.
No, it's not a wild card. Josh McCown is a brilliant individual when it comes to calling offensive plays. The guy's just unbelievable.
When I say wild card, I'm saying nobody is putting him on the radar right now.
Because he hasn't been around doing it for such a long time.
Right. I think he's on the radar. I think he's I don't know if he's on the Bucs radar, but I think he's definitely on the radar at this point.
No, he might be on Tampa Bay's radar, Pete. I mean, there's a possibility for that. I mean, I'm sure they're going to exhaust a lot of different options to try to see what they're going to, kick tires with. But I don't think it's anything that they have to be too overly concerned that they have to go get themselves a top-notch OC. I don't think that I think this team is built. I don't think they're going to try to revamp the offense, and they're going to try to have somebody fit the mold of what Baker Mayfield does really well. Run the football and then run off a play action. And I got to tell you, man, you throw a couple of wrinkles in there, this team's going to be fine. You're not going to miss Cohen, trust me.
Yeah, well, and they're not gonna be able to get Kevin Carberry, who's the offensive line coach, because the Bucs said no soup for you as they blocked that request to interview him for that job. So there you go, Liam Cohen, stick it. The Bucs just told him to stick it. All right, Frankie, what else?
All right, so you were talking about getting Myles Garrett. That was actually something I was actually going to call you about.
Okay.
Was like, dude, this is what I think we should do. Is like trade a couple draft picks.
Right.
Like get rid of our first round draft pick. This year, maybe our second round draft pick. Who knows? Maybe something next year.
Well, listen,
Myles Garrett.
Don't you dare! I think they could afford him. Listen, he's the best. Peter, this one. Respectfully, please. I don't want to get into a huge debate.
Go for it.
You are so wrong with this one. It's not even funny. Myles Garrett, it would be phenomenal to have that talent on your team. The millions of dollars a year that it's going to cost you, it would be cap hell. And you'd have to sell so many draft picks. If you think that the Bears gave up a ton of picks when they got Khalil Mack, bro, you ain't seen shit on how much that would cost the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That is a move that I would like to see, but there's zero chance that could happen. If it did, it would crush this team for years.
Even if they don't get Myles Garrett, a Myles Garrett-like player, like let's say Max Crosby or a Josh Allen, you know what I mean? Josh Hines Allen.
Yeah.
Do that, and then there is a free agent that nobody's even talking about right
now. Max Crosby is another one that's going to cost so much money.
Yeah, but here's the thing: the Bucs do a great job when it comes to managing the cap.
They can do them, yeah, but there's only so many dollars, Pete. You can only manage it so much until the dollars kind of run away. You can't keep funneling it.
Brother, I think it's like the national debt at this point. It's so imaginary. If you want to have some money, if you want to make some money, if you want to provide that money for the player,
you got to spend money to make money.
Listen, they make billions and billions of dollars every year with that revenue. They know how to work that cap. And then on top of it, you're coming 2 years removed from that Tom Brady cap hit. So the Bucs are going to be sitting real pretty there with the cap situation.
They'll be a lot better. Okay, let's just say they could afford them.
Now,
I'm not willing to give up.
The next thing I was going to say.
I'm not willing to give up 3 number ones or even 2 number ones.
I don't think you have to give up 3. I don't think you have to give up 3 number ones. Maybe another number one.
2 number ones.
Maybe.
And it would cost you a minimum of 2 number 2s. I'm telling you. He's that type of player.
I agree. They're both that type of player, but I'm willing to give up some premium picks.
Max Crosby couldn't hold his jock strap, and Max Crosby is really good.
I love Max Crosby, and I think the close relationship with SpyTech now being there, but I would caution Bucs fans, if I'm SpyTech, why would you get rid of one of your foundation pieces, if you will,
they're going to build
Crosby. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. In year number 1, trust me, they're going to dismantle that team. The Raiders will dismantle that team in year 1. Get a whole bunch of draft capital, Sell, so they can buy.
Sell Mortimer, sell. Yes, and I would say sell Max Crosby to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's exactly what they need. I'm willing. Maybe, and again, this is not my picks. This is just my opinion. I'm willing to give up premium picks because here's what you know, Harry and Frankie. You know that a pass rusher, even if you draft him, it's going to be very, very difficult for that pass rusher to come in right away. That window, that championship window is open for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and you got to make a dramatic move. And this may be the move that you make with the Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett. Just my opinion. And if you have to give up premium picks, give it up.
I'm agreeing with you, Pete.
Right.
But here's my other move I would make.
All right, Frankie.
There's a free agent that's out there. I don't know if anyone's talking. I haven't heard any Buccaneer fans I know talk about. And I think the Bucs should make a move on him. He's a veteran. It's a spot that we definitely need.
Who is it?
And he's going to give us massive leadership.
Okay, who is it?
Bobby Wagner.
Bobby Wagner as the middle linebacker. I mean, you're getting old there. I mean, you got Levante David. You're not sure if he's going to come back. If he comes back, you got a 35-year-old linebacker there, and you got Bobby Wagner, who's also up there in the age. I believe he's 34, 35 years old.
Bobby
exactly.
Wagner.
But he's going to give you.
Go ahead.
Bobby Wagner right now is a
good.
slower version to a Levante David.
Mm.
He's not going to be able to cover. He's still a thumper. He's a great guy in the run. He's a captain of a defense. But no, that is not an answer for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You're not trying to get older, guys. We're trying to get a little younger.
Yeah. All right, Frankie. Anything else, my friend?
Keep it going.
All right, man. Hey, listen, use that second call. We got Turnbuckle Talk tonight. We got the return of the madman, Mr. Mark Mancini, and, of course, Mr. Ralph Williams. Let me go out to the phone lines here. One of our favorite callers, Mr. Williams, I believe. Welcome to the Evolution.
Boy, you better know it. You better know it.
I know it's Mr. Williams. I could see Harry's
better
face
know
right
it.
now.
I done heard enough of that crap.
And by the way, I promise we will get out to the webheads here, reading comments. Facebook stars are available, and of course, YouTube super chats. I did not forget about you tonight, Mr. Williams.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, man. Look, man.
Yeah.
I done heard enough of that.
Heard enough of what?
Because this cat talking about a Bobby Wagner. Boy, you don't get out of here with that.
You're not a fan of Bobby Wagner? You don't want him on this team? I mean, he's a veteran presence. He played pretty well for the Commanders this year. No? Okay.
No, I wouldn't.
No.
No, I wouldn't.
Vehemently, no. He says vehemently, no.
Yeah, but hey, Harry, good afternoon, my brother.
Yeah, good afternoon. Harry.
What's happening, my brother? How you doing, Mr. Williams? You all right?
Yeah, man. Can I be doing fine, man? Once I get my wings.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna get your wings, Mr. Wagner.
I'm telling you right now, Mr. Williams is still searching for his wings at this point.
But I'm gonna tell you,
shut up, Barry.
This guy, Max Crosby or whatever.
Yes.
He's supposed to be, man.
Yes, Max Crosby, yes.
But I wouldn't sell out and spend all of my draft picks.
Why not? So why if you could get a first round pick and you have to trade a third round pick for
because Mr. Williams knows right from wrong.
Shut up, Harry. Be quiet.
98.
Okay.
98 coming from the Raiders.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you, Pete Carroll is going to dismantle that team.
Good. Dismantle Max Crosby to the Bucs, because that definitely helps the Bucs out, does it not?
Yeah, it can.
It can.
All right. You know, I need him to come off that end.
He's going to come off the end.
Let me be really clear when I say this, guys. Hold on, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not have a propensity of making stupid moves. Okay.
Right.
This general manager is probably, well, I can't name the last time this
is a good guy.
Hold on. I haven't remembered the last time Jason Light gave up draft capital for another player of that magnitude. It ain't happening.
Yeah.
You got shit in one hand and nothing in the other. You put them together, you might get a sandwich. Trust me. That ain't happening.
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. This team has been built through the draft and not too much
Yeah.
for free agency. They know how to
Yeah,
build it,
that
and they know how to build a winner here in Tampa Bay by the draft.
But to that point, let me go full screen on this. When you build the team through the draft, at a certain point, that window starts to open for your championship. That's when you go in to free agency. That's when you make those trades, because the Bucs have done that in the past with the JPP. The Bucs have done that in the
yeah,
past with the
yeah,
Ndamukong, and it's worked out
yeah,
for
and
them.
I
But they
got
never gave up a ton of capital for that, Peter.
Well, third round pick for JPP. I mean, if you have to give up a second or third round pick for Max
who?
Crosby,
You think that's all it's
I
going to
say
I
take?
mean, no, but I'm willing to give up
I
a first
say
round pick and a
Max,
third.
Max
I
Crosby will be
say
two number ones and a number 3, maybe even a number 2,
I could
and
give
cash
that.
consideration.
I could give that up, knowing that he's going to solidify that defensive line.
You can't. Pete.
yeah.
You
Why can't you? Tell
because
me.
you're going to have to start thinking about first round projection as a possible wide
Go
receiver.
get
You
on
don't know
the
what's going
phone
to
and
happen.
call Sue. Go get on the
We
phone and
don't
call
know.
Sue.
We don't know what's going
Jason
to
Wright,
happen with.
call Sue back down
Wait,
there.
wait.
We don't know.
Mr.
We don't
Williams, I
know.
appreciate the call, man. Yes, go ahead.
We don't know the situation on what's going to happen with one Chris Godwin. He's coming off an ACL, and very few
Okay.
players come back full strength. One,
Okay.
two, you're going to have to pay the man. Two, if they don't
Well,
have,
you just wait a minute now. You just contradicted yourself, because you said he's coming off a dislocated ankle. But here's the thing: his value is not going to be as high.
His
No,
ACL.
It's not an ACL. It's a dislocated ankle. It's not ACL.
Chris Godwin tore his ACL, Pete.
Dislocated ankle, dude.
Okay, well that's
Yeah.
even better than for him, because
Well, that's what
gonna
I'm
be
saying.
fine.
That's my point. His value is not going to be as high. So you may have some extra money. And once again, you could do restructures. Jason Light has shown that you can restructure Tristan
Peter.
Wirfs. You can restructure Baker Mayfield.
I'm not debating that with you. I'm just giving you validation on why the Bucs should never give up that kind of draft capital.
Okay.
99 times out of 100, it doesn't work out for the team. It just doesn't. You have to have that. You have to keep replenishing these players, because unfortunately, through attrition, a Leo word, you have to bring in some first and second round picks to be able to fulfill and fill these people that are going to be leaving.
Can I give you
free agency?
Can I give you an example of where it worked out for the Bucs?
Sure, give it to me.
Keyshawn Johnson.
Okay,
They
and how
traded
many?
2 first-round picks. 2 first-round
Keyshawn
picks.
Johnson. Did they take? Did he go to the Super Bowl with them?
He did.
Okay, that's right. That was the one time. But what did they give away? 2 first-round picks.
2 first-round picks. Yeah.
Okay, well, you know what, Tampa, go ahead, give up all your draft capital and go get a guy that's in his 50th year to give you 10 sacks, because this will make Peter happy.
It's not the 50th year, jerk. He got Myles Garrett, who's a little bit up there in age. I think he's like 30, 31 years old. You have to check the age there. So
Hold
you
on.
may not have to give up 2, but Max Crosby is in his prime at this point. So I'm willing to give up. And at that time, Keyshawn Johnson was in his prime. He was just unhappy with the Jets.
I'm going to give you a few minutes to think, like Jeopardy.
Sure. Yeah, because we don't have any sound effects.
Because
you cursed them. You cursed them. It's you did it.
The last time a team had to give up 2 first-round picks and a second-round pick, tell me when that was successful for them. Can you please tell me?
I told you for the Bucs.
Okay, can you give me one since then, Mr. Almanac in your brain of useless information here?
I can't think of one when the Bucs did it. I mean,
Because
I'm trying to think of a team.
It doesn't work.
I mean, we can look.
That's
Can
a
we look it
question
up?
that's a question for
Yes.
the webheads and the Greek guys.
Yes.
Tell us when something like that ever worked. You know what I'd like to know?
What's
Put a
that?
comment inside of there. Yes or no? Do you think the Bucs should give up 3 draft picks, 2 of them being a number 1 for a Max Crosby?
It's a question for the night here. Or not only do you care about the Pro Bowl games here this week, do you care about Super Bowl 59?
You've seen my text message to you guys about the Pro Bowl.
Oh yeah, I see
going
that.
to Orlando.
Yeah. Ray wanted to go to Orlando.
I'd rather shoot heroin in my eyes than go see a Pro
stop
Bowl.
it. Stop it. It would be kind of fun for all of us to go out there if we were credentialed media, not as fans. But that's the question of the night. Are you willing to give up premium picks for a Max Crosby or a Myles Garrett? Open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. I want to read these comments, you jerk. because you cursed my sound effects. Ever since you said something, they have not been able to work. Yeah, I bet you can. How you fix them? How you gonna fix them?
All you gotta do is pay my gas and $50. I'll come over there and fix it. It'll be done in 5 minutes.
Okay. All right. That's what we'll have to do then. I'll pay your gas and I'll get you over here. And we'll play the Let's Go until you go deaf. Let's go out to Ray Kennedy. What's up, fellas? What's going on, boss? Darlene Emanuel, the Green Queen herself, excited about the Eagles. I know she's looking forward to Super Bowl 59. Says hi. How you doing? Roger Shue, yo Pete, no sound effects. Thank you, Tribal Troll. Appreciate you. Yeah, Ray Kennedy, no sound. Good evening. Thank you very much, Darlene. Again, Dar's watching on Facebook and YouTube. There you go. Where are you at, Roger Shue? You're not on Facebook. You know why? Because you're an idiot. That's why. How about that sound effect? You have to bring the sound effects. Yeah, you're an idiot too. How about that? There's your sound
Peter,
effect.
where are your sound effects, buddy? I want to hear Tom Brady going, let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, I miss them. I don't know what's going on. It's a new laptop, so we're trying to figure it. It's gonna be an ongoing process, obviously. Mildred took the sound effects away. Probably she did. Marine right here, Ron, Bucs fantastic, McCleary, good evening, Pete, and all the Sports Web family out there. Good evening to you, my friend. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Duval, that's how you say it. It's not Duval, it's Duval. That's how you say it, right? Say Duval.
No, thank you.
All right, so let's go out to the best of the Bay, Tampa Bay, Ray Kennedy. Mr. Kennedy. There you go. There's your sound.
Kennedy.
What's up, brothers?
What's up, man?
Oh,
Ray,
God.
what's up,
What
buddy?
is not up?
Yes.
You know what? It's funny because last year Baker gets MVP in the Pro Bowl in the skills competition. We see Tristan Wirfs there day of. He's running the heavyweights, pushing that sled and winning that competition. And it seemed like the best guy starting Pro Bowl I'd seen since Warren Sapp and Derek Brooks first showed up in Honolulu like 25 years ago in the old, Bucko Bruce. And I wasn't interested this year. But I'll tell you what,
I'd rather watch Bucko Bruce than watch the Pro Bowl.
Yeah, but Harry, if you could see the way Baker owned it last year with his attitude, and I'm sure you did, the way he won the MVP, but him and you've got Mike there now, like you were.
I'd have all the mascots and play tackle football with the mascots with no pads.
Mm-hmm.
Now
well,
tell
Peter,
me,
it was
tell me, would
mascots.
that not be exciting?
Absolutely, sure it would. It would be absolutely mascots playing flag football. Who doesn't want to see that?
Oh no. Bullshit. I'm talking
They're gonna
about
be tackle.
Tackle.
Yo, wait a minute.
Okay, tackling. Okay, good.
Wouldn't that be fun?
It would
sure,
be okay.
Absolutely.
We saw them. I think it was the Carolina game, Peter. We saw them play against like the Seminole Heights, Mighty Mites or midgets from like North Tampa, and the mascots didn't hold anything up. They were playing some tackle football there at halftime, one of those games. But I wanted to ask you guys, how interested are we in this Super Bowl? And if not, Peter, as you alluded to, you asked a question about whether you're interested in the Super Bowl or not. If Patrick Mahomes wins this Super Bowl, has he literally pulled up alongside and/or gotten a little ahead of Tom Brady and the greatest of all time?
No, but there's been nobody that's ever done a three-peat. But yeah, I'm interested in it
because
because
this young man has accomplished has never been accomplished by any quarterback. Just to let you know, even if he doesn't win this Super Bowl, what he has done in his career has never been done. Okay, never, ever. Yeah. I'm the one that used to make fun of him, calling him the baby goat, the whole 9 yards. No, let me tell you something. He wins this Super Bowl and he wins a couple of more. He may be the GOAT. And he's, and in my opinion, not the best quarterback. And neither was Tom Brady, in my opinion. But you get recognized for the amount of rings that you have or how quick you generate them. Sure. I'll tell you something, man. 3 in a row is pretty damn tough. 17 consecutive games, gentlemen. Think about this. 1 score or less that they have won.
It's amazing.
Do you know how hard that is to do?
But what people will always go back to is the questionable calls from the refs, and that's the shame of it all. Because, and I asked,
they said the same shit about Michael Jordan too.
Maybe, but not. I think Jordan was more dominant, and there wasn't.
I give that to you, but
right.
Nobody likes to see a consistent winner. I get it. Sure. I am not, and I haven't been a Patrick Mahomes fan. but you have to start respecting what the hell the guy has done.
I agree.
And
I completely agree with that.
Here's the reason why I asked this, guys, is because Peter, I'm we've known you longer than anybody out here right now, and it took a long time for you to move off of Joe Montana from the greatest of all time. And I go back and look at the body of work of Joe Montana and the West Coast offense under Bill Walsh and what he did at a time in the NFL. And then it was, Tom Brady, 269, 6th round. He became the greatest of all time. So what exactly does define the greatest of all time? Because like you said, Harry, Patrick Mahomes is already pushing.
Well, I think
it's
it's
just 100%
championships, and I think it's also dominating in your era. And right now, Mahomes, championships, dominating in the era. I mean, 7 consecutive AFC championship games, 17.
Crazy.
Like it's nuts, and it's not like there's not talent in the AFC. There is.
What he has done has never been done. Now,
right.
Do the refs play a role in this? I don't want to say they do, but it's pretty frigging obvious.
Right.
Okay. And you know what? Whenever you're a great player, you're always going to get the benefit of the doubt for the call.
Sure.
Name one. LeBron with his flops. Michael Jordan. That's blasphemy. I mean, Patrick, even Tom Brady. I mean,
Kobe Bryant.
Man.
Kobe Bryant.
Kobe, yeah. It's just the way it is. People are in awe, even as referees, but it doesn't make it right. Absolutely not. And that was pretty egregious with some of those first downs that they didn't call for Buffalo. But you know what? People ain't going to remember that.
They're not.
They're going to remember the fact that they've won championships. The people that weren't happy with Tom Brady were like, well, tell me which gate that he won. Spygate, Deflate Gate, this gate, that friggin' gate.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? They're going to be saying the same thing. Was it the first down or wasn't it a first down? Look, man, you got to give the guy his dues. You got to give him his credit. I hate doing it, but he's doing stuff that Joe Montana, Dan Marino, nobody.
Ron Elway, yeah.
Nobody.
Brett Favre, yeah.
None of them. Nobody has ever done. I can think of better quarterbacks, but hey, man, you get GOAT status by being a leader in what you're doing for the amount of championships. Sorry.
Yeah. And I love what Andy Reid does. He goes and reminds people. Saw him today on the Colin Cowherd show, which, by the way, Peter Blake has nothing on his sports web, brother.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Who's he, by the way?
I got to fill in the day hours too, because there's
no
local programming here.
Cowherd.
There's no local programming for sports in Tampa Bay.
Yes,
but I'm not going to go there
right
right
that's
now.
on ESPN.
Well, no, he's now on Fox Sports 1.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he's on twice a day on the radio station there. He's on it.
I didn't want to go there, but Peter, since you did, but I'll mention that I love that Andy Reid throws it out to that he came from the Mike Holmgren tree. And
Sure.
Mike Holmgren always, because they asked him about the fact that it seems like he's always got to play up his sleeve. He's always ahead of the defense. And he said Mike Holmgren told him, always keep one in the chamber. Right? Always keep that special one in the chamber. And I think that's what Bucs fans felt in 2024 with Liam Cohen. We were like, we've got an OC that's calling a game, seems to have his literal finger on the pulse and was calling the right plays while the defense was zigging, he was zagging. But yet, I not to just transition, subjects on you guys, but at what point do you guys realize, do we not all go, well, it's the fact that Jason Licht's built one of the best offensive lines in the NFC. We've got Baker freaking Mayfield, who's just unbelievable that he's still here. And we've got great receivers and a great running game. It's a good organization. So, regardless of who we hire, it shouldn't be, are we going to hire someone that works with Baker? Are we going to hire someone that calls the right place? It's just are we going to hire somebody who wants to come work in one of the best organizations?
Who would you like to see them hire? Would you like to see them stay in-house with Josh Grizzard there, who worked on third downs, and of course the Bucs being number 1 on third down conversions last year? Or would you like to see them go outside of the organization at this juncture?
Brother, so that one stat right there, being first in the league on third downs, because for how many years, literally 46 to 47 years, we couldn't do anything on third down, which is one of our downfalls.
Yes.
But I like Nate Shielhays, the guy, the quarterback coach. He had the Iowa State. Shielhays. He's got the experience as an OC at Iowa State. Went and worked in Sean McVay's system for 1 year. People are comfortable. He didn't even encounter Baker because he just came in for 2024, and Baker had already been here since 2023. But I like his pedigree And I like the fact that he saw how the sausage was made there with Sean McVay and those Rams for 1 year. But at the same time, he's got a body of work that's enough for me to say this guy can call plays, but he's not, 30 or 40. He's not Chip Kelly. He's not someone where I'm like, well, let's bring in someone to save our offense. Our offense doesn't need saving. All we need is somebody who can work with the personnel that we have.
That's what I've been saying. And Ray, let me ask you a question. Simple yes or no answer. Are you a Chip Kelly fan? Would you like to see him here in Tampa?
So I was, except for the fact that, remember, at one point, Chip Kelly was going to be the next Buccaneers head coach until he decided at the last point not to, and he stayed at Oregon. So, I mean, it starts to take me right down the Liam Cohen, street as far as a coach and what he's worth, as far as his word, and is he going to stand up for it? So, from that standpoint, I did not like him because of the fact he's even got a prior with the Bucs. But I mean, Harry,
forget about the personal things. No, forget about the personal standpoint of it. His mentality of the way he runs an offense. You'd like to see that here in Tampa?
If he can resent to the fact, if he can still realize that Uncle Bruce is still in the corner office and this is Jason Light's, organization, he wants to come in here and be an innovative offensive coordinator, because he does. His concepts are still, to this day, they hold true. But at the same time, this team, the last thing we'd want to do is put another guy in at coach that 6 months from now, when the Bucs go 2-3 in their first 5 games because they had a hard schedule, people are calling for Bull's job, and it's because we got Chip Kelly here, let's just move him in there.
Oh man, Chip Kelly's a defense killer, and it's not the opposing defense. Chip Kelly's a defense killer on his own team because it's 30 seconds, it's fourth down.
I think Todd Bowles would. I don't think he would be able to do some of that stuff.
You know what? You just said Todd Bowles.
Yeah.
First off, we're talking about something that would never, ever happen. Todd Bowles would never let that happen to this team. Ever.
Well, they've been able to run hurry up before. They've ran, with
not every single play.
Yeah.
Ever would Todd Bowles allow this.
That'd be tough.
Now
that's a tough sell.
Yes.
Yeah, well, when Baker goes up tempo, obviously, I think he's got great success just because of his wealth, his plethora, Leo word, of knowledge. But actually, I thought there were times in 2024 where Liam Cohen, one of his downsides to this offense was even when we scored field goals and or touchdowns, which is crazy to say, but when we scored them so fast, we were putting our defense back on the field. We were giving opposing offenses a chance to, to find chinks in the armor, continue trying things. And I know it's silly.
Great point, but at least hold on, Ray, but that's a great point, but you've already scored 7 points and now you're punting the ball. You're not giving them a short field and putting your defense let me tell you something. The defense is a little bit more rejuvenated when the offense is scoring quickly. It's when the offense isn't scoring and then they're punting and then giving defenses, you're putting your defense on the field with a short field. So that's not really a great comparison, in my opinion.
All right, really quick.
Chip Kelly's a no-no.
I want to read these comments. I want to continue to read these comments. 22 years ago, where were you when the Bucs won their first Super Bowl 37?
I was watching the game with my in-laws, and we have the same plan for Super Bowl 59. We're going to have my in-laws over. We're going to watch the game. It's a tradition we've kept up since 37. And, I'll be honest with you. I want to, if it's the Eagles, I want to see Saquon Barkley get the MVP in a Super Bowl because I have a feeling he's not going to, but I really think he should be getting the MVP recognition at the honors on Thursday night because as far as a most valuable player for an impact he made on his team, and he took this an Eagles team that couldn't figure out their butt from a hole in the ground. He carried them this season to Super Bowl 59. So I think Saquon should be your MVP. I'd like to see him get Super Bowl MVP.
All right. Good stuff, Tampa Bay. Ray Kennedy, appreciate you as always, my friend. Great stuff as always. Open phone line 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. We'll continue to read these comments and then we'll get out to Turnbuckle Talk here, which I know is one of your favorite segments, Harry the Greek. Liam Cohen looked like he was cosplaying Johnny Lawrence from, you know who that is, Johnny Lawrence from God, I can't even think of the show now. From Netflix, the Netflix show, not the Karate Kid. No, you can't think of it. Cobra Kai. Peter H. Blake, how you doing? Go Bucs. How you doing, Javier? Thanks a lot for tuning in. Appreciate it. Marine says that was the phoniest interview I've ever seen. Duval, my gosh. Alan McTavish there. Ray Kennedy must be lonely tonight. Ray Kennedy, the Timex man. Javier says, I have no interest for the Pro Bowl. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, sitting in the car with my date, a 6-pack of hazy IPA, watching the best damn sports show in Tampa Bay. Appreciate you as always, brother. I like Brady. They interview Marcus Brady, who worked with Jim Harbaugh there, and of course Justin Herbert. So they interviewed him. Does Baker have a say in the new offensive coordinator? You would think that Baker Mayfield would have some say when it comes to that. With that being said, let's go back out to the phone lines. Alex, welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with the Greek himself.
Good evening, guys.
What's up, man?
Doing good. It's been a couple weeks since I've called in, but
I know, man.
A lot's happened in a couple weeks. You got Liam Cohen headed to Jax, which, I want to put my quick thoughts on that, and then I wanted to talk to y'all about Patrick Mahomes, because that's what y'all were talking about before Ray came on the line.
Sure.
But listen, I'm happy for Cohen for getting a job.
Sure.
A better job with more paying. It's like anybody else out here, right?
Mm.
If am I going to take $6 million example to stay as the Bucs, offensive coordinator, rather that's the highest paid offensive coordinator pay out there versus getting a head coach making probably double your money. I'm not mad at him for doing that. I don't like how he did it. I stand by that. It was disappointing. I really do believe, and some will have their opinions, that I believe it was a slap in the face to Tampa Bay.
It was absolutely a slap in the face in Tampa Bay, and Tampa Bay just slapped him back.
I have a question for you. Would you have rather have kept Cohen if he had the opportunity of being the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Knowing what you know now.
Listen.
No, not knowing what you know now. Not knowing what you know now. Say before all this went down.
I thought I told you guys at the end of the season that I thought Todd Bowles did I thought Todd Bowles did a very good job considering everything that he did. I was all for Todd Bowles keeping his job. However, I was all for keeping Liam as our offensive coordinator because he worked with Baker. How about this? Poor Baker, man. Got to reset 3 straight years. In my opinion, that's very bad on the Buccaneers.
Don't feel bad for Baker. He's making $100 million in his contract. Trust me. This is what he gets paid to do.
Well, listen, it was unavoidable. It's not the Buccaneers, because the Buccaneers did everything they could, Alex, to keep Cohen in the building with trying to make him the highest paid. And then they tried, and they couldn't block Dave Canales because, that's the NFL. That's the NFL rule. They're trying to get offensive coordinators to be coaches and give them that promotion. So you can't block that. So you can't hate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for doing that. It's just, it is what it is. They planned to have Cohen back. They did everything they could, and they thought he was signed on to it, but he didn't. That's not the Bucs' fault. They did everything they could.
I'd be shocked, based off his resume, if he goes past a year. Maybe he shocks us. I think the Jacksonville Jags have a terrible owner. I stand by that. I mean, the guy is just a terrible owner. But, I mean, I'll be shocked. I just don't see, based off his resume, I don't see him being a head coach yet. That's just my opinion. I think Todd Bowles for the Bucs, I think he did a very good job this year, considering the injuries, considering, everything he had to face through the season, even toward the end of the season. The Bucs rebounded, got some guys healthier again, and we made a push. Was it pretty? Yeah. But, I wanted to swing this conversation, though, talking about the Chiefs real quick, and because that's a conversation y'all were talking about before Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy came on.
Yes.
And, guys, wait. I want to start off by saying that game was close. That Bills and that KC game was so close.
Oh, was this?
I think the Bills called their worst offensive game that entire season last weekend. How many times are you going to tush push on 4th and 1 and let Josh Allen tush push to realize it doesn't work?
Well, it doesn't work because the interior line is getting manhandled by Kansas City's defensive line, and I'm trying to think of the defense. Who's the defensive tackle that continues to stand out for them? Who's a standout? Yeah, Jones. I don't know why I keep on forgetting his name. Jones. That's the guy that
What
continues.
does that remind you of, though, guys? That reminds me of what? The Bucs and Washington game. How many times did we get like 3-1 and 3-2, and we just couldn't get that first down? It was our worst offensive play calling game. In my opinion, Liam Cohen called that worst offensive game was that Washington game.
I definitely think you can make a case of that, and you can make a case that drive where you need 3rd and 1 and you're not able to be successful, and it turns into 4th and 3. You're exactly right. It's actually 2nd and 1, and then it goes to 3rd and 1. Yeah, that's on Cohen. That's also on the players too. I'm not going to just put it on coaching, but you're exactly right. That is on Cohen. So,
but I want to talk about Patrick Mahomes here because I have to do a little bit of trolling here because that's what I did.
okay.
But Peter,
yes,
is it not? And this is a question for Harry too. Is it not blatantly obvious how bad these calls are? I'm gonna give you 2 calls of that game, and then I'll let you guys go.
Yeah.
The pass. Well, we all know that 4th and 1, that final tush push, which gave KC that ball in the 4th quarter. That 4th and 1, which it was, in my opinion, I saw the camera view, watched it 100 times. It was very obvious Josh Allen crossed that line.
Yeah.
And of course they get that call. Two calls later, Patrick Mahomes throws almost the dot to the hands of Xavier Worthy. And you had a KC, I don't recall the Bills player, but it was to Xavier Worthy. Ball blatantly hits the ground. It's an incomplete pass, and they get that call to the KC's favor as usual. Guys, if you're not going to tell me, because y'all were talking about, that Patrick Mahomes is that stress, I disagree. Come on, guys. This is Vegas 101. You know how much money the NFL will lose? Is losing out on by not seeing Miss Swiftie making her face appearance in that Super Bowl. If you know how much money Taylor Swift has made they've made the NFL just since her face has appeared.
Yes.
I disagree with you guys.
How does Taylor Swift
I think there's way better quarterbacks out there than Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is not that stressed.
Alex,
he's
how is
been
Taylor
handed
Swift making Vegas money?
Huh?
How is Taylor Swift making Vegas money?
I think he meant NFL money.
Making the NFL money.
Yeah.
NFL.
She's making the NFL money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vegas.
But you don't think though, being tied into that, you don't think for 1 minute that the NFL has this game so figured out that there are millions of dollars running through Vegas that KC is going to win that Super Bowl in less than a week and a half. Come on, man. It's all planned, man. It's all planned. And I promise you, by Swift showing her little sweet face at every single Super Bowl, she's making Vegas millions. And I just think that's the way it is.
Vegas millions, though. Well, I can see the NFL, but how is she making the sports book?
Let me rephrase it. Millions are running through Vegas.
Well, yeah, millions are going to run through Vegas. Let's just say that they're betting on Kansas City because they're the Swifties. Okay. Let's just say they're betting on Kansas City and Philadelphia covers. That Vegas will lose a boatload of money. If Philadelphia beats them or covers the spread, which is 2.5 points, I don't see how Vegas makes money on that. I understand what you're trying to say, but I think they could be making the NFL a lot of money. I don't think it really has much to do with Vegas. It's just my opinion.
Yeah. All right.
Can I ask you guys a last question before I go?
Yeah, go ahead, Alex. And use your second call if you want to before
I'll give you guys, absolutely. I'm going to ask you guys one more question. I'll let you guys go. By the way, I always appreciate you both very much, and I appreciate being on this show. It's actually a pleasure.
Appreciate it, man.
I'll watch the show after I let you guys go to give you guys some time to pull it up. But show me where KC is ranked offense, defense, and special teams in the NFL, and tell me that KC is really not that stressed. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, well, I can tell you a team that they're
They're
not.
really not that good of a team. I'm sorry.
What you see, you can't say that. 17 consecutive games in a row.
Alex, appreciate the
17,
call.
Thanks, buddy.
17 consecutive games in a row. The Kansas City Chiefs
Hmm?
have won a one-possession game, a one-score game.
Yeah.
Do I think they look as sexy as they have in previous years? No. But how the hell can someone say that this team doesn't look that good?
Yeah.
17 games in a row. You can talk about the refs. You could talk about whatever. Trust me. 17 games in a row, one score or less. That's it.
I mean, you gotta give them credit where credit is due. Harry, really quick, because I'm gonna get these guys on here to say hi, and then I'm gonna get them out of here. So I want to read some more of these comments, guys. Stand by, but I want you to say hello to our old friends right there,
The
Mr. Madman.
Mancini brothers.
Look at this.
You know, Harry, you're bundled up. It must be cold in Chicago.
Oh hell no! I'm not in Chicago. I'm in Florida, brother.
Well, yeah, I thought you were out there in Chicago representing the Bears. First of all, that caller was there's Ralph. That caller was right about Kansas City. It's time for the NFL to get out of bed with the Chiefs.
Well, yeah, everybody can say that, but Mark, 17 games in a row, one score or less. You got to give them their credit. And what this team has done under the tutelage of one Patrick Mahomes has never been done in the history of football. Never.
Mm.
Well, let me burst that bubble a little. He'll never catch Brady in Super Bowls. First of all, second of all, head to head, Brady has beat Mahomes. And the third thing of this whole thing is Kansas City's dodged a lot of bullets in 3 years. Believe me, they didn't have to go on the road. They were in a division which was pretty much garbage up until Denver and the Chargers decided to play football.
Yeah, but Mark, they've also took care of business. You don't want to have to beat Kansas City in their own home stadium. Well, you got to beat them during the regular season. That's the secret.
You know what? And I'm not a Philly guy, being a Pittsburgh boy, but I will tell you what they did to my Redskins. Saquon Barkley represents all people who have been shown the door that can stand up and say, you know what, you can go to a better place and do much better.
Well, it's absolutely true, Ralph. And the Giants got to be kicking themselves.
And again, I am not a Kansas City fan.
Right.
I am a fan of football.
I'm not a fan of Duck Dynasty and Kelsey and Taylor Swift weighing 120 pounds. I'm not a fan of Andy Reid with his Tommy's burgers. I hope the Eagles go in there and beat them.
There you go. Ralph, what do you think about this Super Bowl? Welcome to the Evolution, my friend.
What's up, Ralph?
And
Ralph, you got to hit that unmute button. You got to unmute your button.
Yeah. There you go.
No, not yet.
He's watching the Penguins.
He's watching.
Now you're muted again. Say hello, Ralph. Log back out. Come back in, Ralph.
Yep, we'll have to get you out of here. So we'll get you out of here. We'll stay with Mark. Mark, I want to finish off with Harry here really quick, but say goodbye to Harry because Harry's going to get out of here.
Harry, and man, what Peter's doing with Tampa Bay, look at he's on the field there and everything. God bless that guy.
Appreciate it. Awesome.
Good things happen to good people.
That's it.
Mark, are you there? Ralph, are you there? Nope, you got nothing. Ralph, you got to plug the thing into your computer.
Ralph's having the same type of deal that I'm having with my stuff right now, my sound effects.
No, Ralph's audio usually works, and he knows how to use StreamYard.
He looks like he's flying a plane.
Shut up, Mark.
All right,
let me get you guys out of here.
Harry, you got to stick around for the wrestling. I only got 30 minutes.
Who? Me?
You got to stick around for the wrestling, man. WrestleMania's coming, baby.
Yeah, you got the Royal Rumble. We're about to talk about it here, but let me get you out of here, Mark.
Hold on. I would love to hang out for wrestling. Peter knows it. My God, I just want to stay so much, but for some reason, Mark, Peter says I really didn't know enough about it, and
not true.
He says that I wasn't going to be able to stay.
It's not true.
I begged him to hang out with you guys.
Not true.
But
not
Peter,
true.
it's okay, buddy.
You're
get
a liar.
That's okay.
You're like Liam Cohen at this point. You're a liar.
That's okay. Baseball's coming. Believe me, the Cubs and White Sox will be looking up at the Pirates.
Duval.
Yeah, there you go. All right, Harry, thanks a lot for the time, man.
Mark. You are a legend in your own mind. I'm Harry the Greek. Thank you for tuning in. It's Wednesday night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Enjoy Turnbuckle Talk with the host of the Sports Web, Mr. Peter Blake. Part of the Mancini brothers are sitting over there. They would have been a really, really nice duo. And hey, you know what? I had a question. There's a guy that I worked with for numerous years before I go, and his name was Kenny, and he was a professional wrestler, and he was called the Heartthrob. Does anybody remember him? His saying was, "I'm 220 pounds of muscle, steel, and pure
Kenny
sex."
Patera?
Kenny, I can't reveal his last name.
Patera?
It wasn't his last name, it's not Patera, but his name is Kenny, and his stage name was the Heartthrob. Anybody remember him?
Before you go, real fast, I looked at these coaching changes around the NFL. The only one that makes sense is the one going on in Vegas with that 80-year-old guy who's so enthusiastic, he could sell tickets on his own. The other choices in the other cities, good luck and wear paper bags with the season tickets.
Mark says he's the world's worst handicapper. Got the best handicapper.
That's what SM calls me.
You talk more doo-doo than anybody I've ever seen. I'm going to add Rolf back in here. Rolf, do we got audio?
He's in the middle of a snowstorm in Pittsburgh.
No audio.
No audio. We got no audio, so we may not have Ralph tonight. We'll see. We got Mark tonight. Harry,
anyway,
appreciate
I do want to say goodbye. Seriously, everybody enjoy the Turnbuckle Talk. I really wish I could stay. I'm so sorry, guys.
Yeah, we
Peter
know you do.
Won't let me.
Harry, get out of here. There you go. How about that? He's out of there right there. All right, I'm going to go read these comments really quick, Mark, and then we will definitely hit Turnbuckle Talk. We'll wait for Ralph here. Hope Cohen fails miserably. Abraham as a dog, absolutely. Christopher Cole, top 5 offensive line is best part of this offense. Cohen doesn't have nearly good of an offensive line to work with. Steve, thanks a lot for tuning in here. Cohen looks so cringe in that new clip trending. Absolutely. Duval. I mean, it's just so weird. I think they will go in-house with their coaching hirings because of unknown situation looming with Todd Bowles' near future as a head coach. Omar Reggie, Juice himself, really hope we play Jacksonville in the preseason. Jacob says, Christopher Cole, your line wasn't top 5. I watched them play in person the last game against the Saints. Baker was running for his life. Had a bad game, but overall, they're definitely a top 5 offensive line. The Juice himself, unpopular opinion, the Bucs need an inside linebacker more than they need an edge. I'm not ready to go with that yet. You have to make some points of why you think the middle linebacker is more important. Convince me I'm wrong, because you need something up front. You don't have that. You have Levante David most likely. If not, you can maybe have Deion Jones. I think you can definitely go out and get a linebacker, but I don't think it's the biggest need of this team. David might retire. Steve says corners are number 1 need. I hope they all go out corners. Juice says corner, inside linebacker, edge. Mike DeRoche from Canada. McMillan may have taken Godwin's job. We'll see. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, says Juice. Christopher Cole, some mock drafts had the Bucs taking wide receiver out of Ohio State in the first round. Don't see it. Marine says, I highly doubt that. No comparison there. Juice says people forget Godwin was a top 5 wideout in the NFL before he got hurt. Absolutely. Dave England, McMillan was good, but he's no Godwin. Steve, imagine we get Tyreek Hill. He has baggage, so maybe not, but he can play. He also costs you $30 million. A lot of money. Where are you getting in that front? He was a rookie. What's going on, Joy? How you doing? Hi, welcome to the Evolution. Joy says we make Bucs necklaces, bracelets. Very cool. Thank you very much. Definitely inbox me if you do that, because I definitely need a Bucs necklace or whatever you guys make. All elite pass rushers will probably be gone by the time the Bucs pick. That's why I say go out in free agency and get one. Dave, if they can bring Godwin back, the offense is good. No more fixes for the season. It should be all defense in the draft. Joy, we're Special Olympics athlete. Very cool. We'll definitely have to get you on the show sometime. We appreciate that. Justin, we're definitely just a few good players away from being a major Super Bowl contender. We will add the guys we need as our GM. Do everything to help us out. We get that help. Watch out. Bucs will dominate this year. Go Bucs. Joy says we're Special Olympics. Thank you. Juice says we don't need an edge rusher in the way everyone thinks we do. I definitely think you do. TJ Watt would look nice in pewter. Yes, he would, but he's going to cost you a lot of money. Definitely a lot of draft picks. The Browns already said they're not getting rid of Garrett, and I don't think they can with the contract. We'll see. Omar Reggie says, let's not forget the Bucs were top 5 in sacks last year with Yaya and JT Hess having less than 5 sacks. Ben, yep, it always starts up front with any defense. We need that pass rusher like we had, and JPP and Simeon Rice. Exactly. Steve, besides Cansey, Vita, and Yaya Diaby, our line sucks. Joy, okay, we compete year-round. Swimming, bowling, tennis, golf, Special Olympic athletes will definitely have to get you on, Joy. Appreciate the participation tonight. What's up, Cornell? How you doing? Christopher Cole, top 5 run game, top 10 passing game isn't happening without the OL. Exactly. Ben, Josh, true, but just imagine we had a pass rush defensive end. How many more sacks could we have? Steve, yes, Mark, you got to fix your camera. I don't know what happened. We'll get you out of here on that. We'll wait. Maybe Baker could recruit Miles. There you go. Steve, thank you. Maybe Bucs will win the Super Bowl for you all. They won the Super Bowl before. It'd be nice. Omar Reggie says the big hole, Todd Bowles' defensive scheme is not having an athletic linebacker that can cover running backs and tight ends. Point blank, quarterbacks went for 400 yards a game against Tampa. To the likes of KJ Britt, JJ Russell, Levante David is 35. He can't move like he once did. It's a good point. Definitely a good point. Jacob, Christopher Cole, they're not top 5. The Bucs interior offensive line was getting beat a lot. Go Bucs. Thank you, Joy. Go Bucs to you. Marine says he sure will. Showed he could move fast many times throughout the season. Ran down Daniels before he hit the sideline angle. We get to be on the field for Special Olympics event every year. Very cool, Joy. Christopher Cole, I would rather get a middle linebacker or DT in the first round. Joy, we compete at the Aquatic February 8th. Wish us luck. Polar Plunge. Good luck to you guys there. Juice, my point is they have no help. KJ Britt is trash. David has to compensate all season because of the lack of coverage. Play our linebackers. Ben, Peter H. Blake, if you go to Orlando as a fan, I'll definitely watch the Pro Bowl. We'll see. Justin, Jason's the best GM in football. This guy finds talent everywhere. He always gets us what we need. I have total faith that he knows we're 3 stud players away from being that top 10 in the NFL as we stay healthy. Go Bucs. True. Ben, 22 years ago, was at home watching the game when Rondé closed down the vet in Philly. Hi, what's up with you? They're pretty darn close to top 5. Kamari's the Poli Mix. Ho, Juice. Yes, sir. You are the Juice. Mike D. Roche. I hope Eagles destroy Kermit and Taylor. Camarilli, Tom Brady should be head coach of the Bucs. That's nonsense. Where's the Greek? He was here. No. Get rid of Bowles. No. MH McCown would be a great option. Marine and replace him with who? We'll wait. No. Chip Kelly. Greek was here. Greek. Haha. Christopher Cole. Hard no on Chip Kelly. Tim, agree with Harry. Big no on Chip Kelly. Trevor, Chip Kelly does not utilize the running game. Good point. Bucs basement, no to AVP, which would be Alex Van Pelt. I say New England season, absolutely not. Marine, and replace him with who? MH, hard to beat, top 5 numbers. Tim, agree with Harry. If you had to pick somebody, it'd be McCown. Marine, crickets, that's what I thought. Bring on McCown, says MH. Draft an edge and take the 4 or 5 year cheap contract. Brandon says Myles Garrett to the Bucs, confirmed. I like it. Pick up a veteran 1 year on a veteran minimum. Justin, sorry, but Bobby Wag is definitely not the answer. I'd rather keep Jones, who can actually cover people. Go Bucs. Who's Jones? Deion Jones. Gotcha. Justin. Jason is way too good with draft picks. He ain't giving up top picks unless we're getting TJ or Miles, and that ain't happening. MH, a 1st and 3rd is insane. Wagner, 7 years ago today, no thanks. Exactly. KR, evening, Peter and Harry. I would say if a pass rusher is available, make the deal because we are close to a deep Super Bowl run. Absolutely. Justin, 3 picks for Crosby. No, we can get a star at 19, but you don't know that. I mean, everybody's like, you can get a star at 19. You don't know if you're going to get a star at 19. I believe in Jason Light, but, traditionally, young pass rushers always don't translate from the draft. Bucs need Series D, B help. Tough call. Mike D. Roche, I won't watch the Toilet Bowl. Marine says, but yet to refuse to answer when I asked to replace him exactly with who. If that's your bud, boo to the Pro Bowl. Justin, haha, we all know Kansas City didn't earn their way. Please don't act like the refs didn't play a major role. They did. David, if we're going by championships, then Terry Bradshaw should be top 4, top 5. If it's true, Liam is trying to steal Peter H. Blake and take him to Duval. No, Rob, that's not happening because I'm never going anywhere. I'm always staying here in Tampa. But why can't Josh Allen get them calls? He's the MVP this year. Bills got shafted also. The Swift effect as well. You know they make a ton more with her and Swifties there. Don't be silly. Dave Ruffalo, Sun Devil Dave, boycott the Super Bowl. Refs will always favor Taylor Swifties and the Chiefs. Mike D. Roche would be awesome to play Jacksonville in a home opener next season. And boo, Benedict Cohen. I like that idea. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's 2 years from now when they play them in the regular season. The thing I keep coming back to, our defense has been a problem for the last 3 years. So to fix it once again, we're going to get a new offensive coordinator to understand that. It's time for us to get a new defensive coach. Sorry to all the Todd Zone Bulls fans. Rob Thompson. Coach Bulls has done a great job the last 3 years considering all the salary cap restrictions, injuries. Let's see how this year, see how we gain a bunch of dead cap back this year. John says bad refs will be fired. KC will be on the decline in the future. Hopefully, Swift paying refs off. Christopher Cole. If they go after inside linebacker and free agency, then go after Zach Bond. But he probably won't. He'll probably command too much money. John says they're good with a little help with their friends. John, again, they cheated to beat the Bills. Duval, absolutely. That's how you do it. It's not Duval. It's not that weird stuff that you saw from Cohen. Mahomes has to go undefeated in the regular season before he's the GOAT. I remember him. NFL is rigged. Kenny McGuire was his name. There you go. You know who also remembers? Pepperidge Farms remembers. Dave says, do we have Dennis next year? And yes, you do have Savasi Dennis, but you will see if he can stay healthy. And Mike D. Roche, was there snow in Tampa? No, there was not. North of Tampa, Tallahassee, Pensacola area, about 8 inches. And Rob says Bucs will be number 1 seed next year. Love it. All right, let's see if we can get our guys on here. Mark, are you there?
Hey, first of all, the teams you better watch out for next year. And I know Tampa comes out here to play the Rams.
We got you. We got you dark. Why are you dark, my friend? What's going on there? Are you in the dark room like Aaron Rodgers? What's going on?
No, I don't know why.
All right.
It was better before.
Come back in and then go ahead and log out and then come back in. We'll get you on. Let's see if we got Ralph's situation. Ralph, are you there, my friend?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a little staticky. I don't know what's happening with everybody's sound and stuff like that. So we'll try to work on it. We'll try to get Mark back in here at this point as we're getting ready to do Turnbuckle Talk, wrestling segment. If you guys want to call in and talk WWE, of course, Royal Rumble this Saturday in Indianapolis. Let's start out there. We'll get Mark on. Mark, are you there or are you still in the dark? Well, Mark is still in the dark there. So let's start out with there. They kind of teased this the other night on Monday Night Nitro.
Raw, you mean?
Yes. Frankie, stand by because I know you want to talk about this, but CM Punk and Cody Rhodes, this kind of came out of nowhere. But then if you think about it, last year's Royal Rumble came down to those two. Are we to assume here, Ralph, and hold on, Frankie, because I know you want to comment, the heel Mark himself using your second call here on Turnbuckle Talk. Are we to assume that CM Punk is going to win the Royal Rumble? Welcome to the Evolution, Ralph.
Well, that's what it sounds like. And if that's the case, and he wins the Royal Rumble, everybody's in trouble because CM Punk's going to really going to, pick his battles or pick his time to cash it in. And whoever the champ is that he picks, they better be careful and make sure that they're not lying flat on the mat or something to that effect, or have a bad injury or something, because CM Punk will cash that in faster than the mice can run away.
Well, I think a lot of people
correct you there real quick, Ralph. It's Royal Rumble. They challenged somebody at WrestleMania. Money in the Bank is when they cash in on somebody.
Well, that's absolutely true. I think that's where Ralph was going.
Well, I mean, the Royal Rumble. I'm sorry about that. The Royal Rumble's the WrestleMania match, which could be CM Punk fighting one of the champs of his choosing. Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay. That's all right.
I just wanted to correct you. I didn't want you, coming off to a wrestling mark going, dude, who is this moron? I didn't want that because I know you're smarter than that. So I just wanted to put it out there,
Yeah, well, I appreciate it, Frankie. Thank you.
We got Mark Mancini, the Madman here himself, former XPW announcer. Welcome to the Evolution, my friend. It's been a long time. How many months has it been now since you've been on?
Yeah, covering events and everything. Yeah, it's nice to see it. And I'm trying to get the video going here. But
you got
it looks good. Who's the guy in the
Looks
background?
good on my end. I see all you guys.
Well, you got the heel mark here, Frankie, big time wrestling fan. I mean, what do you think? Is
Is
CM
this
Punk going to
Frankie
win?
Kazarian?
This is not Frankie
I
Kazarian.
wish it was Frankie Kazarian. Oh man,
He is a big time wrestling fan, like we all are here of Turnbuckle Talk. He loves the sports
dude, that's
web.
why they call me the heel mark, man.
He's a Bucs fan in Wisconsin, so he gets his Bucs content from this show and also his wrestling content from this show. So, Frankie, I'm going to ask you, and then I'm going to go out to our panel. Do you feel like CM Punk winning the Royal Rumble is a foregone conclusion on Saturday in Indy?
Well, first and foremost, thank you for letting me come on the show.
Of course. Come on, man.
And let me do a shameless promotional plug. Be sure to check out the Squared Circle Society, which is my wrestling podcast, which is going to be debuting March 22nd, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Anyway,
Very good.
Now that I've done my shameless plug.
Yes. Shameless it was, yes.
This is something I'm predicting, okay? Call me out on this, because everybody has always said, oh, there's going to be a number 31. Everyone always waits for a number 31. Picture this scenario, if you will.
Do it.
Okay?
Okay.
You got CM Punk and Roman Reigns in the ring,
Yes,
right? And
yes.
they're the final two.
Correct.
And then all of a sudden it starts counting down again. And then you hear Brock Lesnar's music hit, and Paul Heyman comes with him, and Brock Lesnar throws Roman Reigns over, and then Brock Lesnar eliminates himself. There is the CM Punk favor.
Do we agree with that? Do we think there's going to be something happen? I mean, if it comes down to CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, could we see a heel turn here, Mark, where Paul Heyman turns on Roman Reigns this early in the process of this storyline and favors CM Punk? Is this the favor? I mean, what do we?
I'm just saying it could be Roman. That's a scenario.
Well, let's throw it out there, Mark. What do you think of that scenario?
I love Roman Reigns. You know that.
Of course.
I don't think it is, because everybody seems to be going against Roman right now. So I think what could happen in this, and I'll throw it even more, Frankie, keep your eye on Randy Orton winning this whole damn thing, coming back and pulling a stunner, maybe to go after,
well, you try to go after Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels gave him a sweet chin music.
Yeah.
So is there a possibility that Shawn Michaels comes back to the ring and maybe puts him over, because we saw KO wrestle Stone Cold? But yeah, that's been the rivalry right now. It's been, of course, that's the big time match between Rhodes and KO. So Ralph, do we assume that if it does come down to the final two of CM Punk and Roman Reigns, that we could see a heel turn from Paul Heyman? Does that make sense to you, Ralph?
It could happen. I mean, because, supposedly, CM Punk has been friends with Heyman for many years, and Heyman owes him a favor from the Survivor Series. So we're going to find out what happens here. I'm interested to see if it comes down to that. We have plenty of stars in this. Anybody could win it, even John Cena.
Well,
Exactly.
John Cena for you is
like
yes,
a dark horse in this, because everyone's like, is he going to break Ric Flair's record? I think he eventually will break Ric Flair's record.
Let me ask you this. Is that the right thing to do by the business? Because I always thought, listen, The Undertaker.
Absolutely.
Well, let me finish here now, Frankie.
Go
I
ahead.
felt like, I know you're the hill mark. I know you're going to interrupt me, and I know Curtis is going to call in here. So hold on a second. Curtis, we're going to put you on hold. We're going to finish up with Frankie. We got Turnbuckle Talk going on. All right. So stand by.
Yep.
All right. So let me go back to Frankie here. I always felt like The Undertaker and that streak, he should have never lost to Brock Lesnar, and didn't understand it. If you're going to put somebody over, because that's what the vehicle is, gentlemen, you're going to put somebody over. You put over CM Punk. You put over Randy Orton, somebody like that.
The guy that should have ended Undertaker's streak is Bray Wyatt.
No, the guy who should have ended Undertaker's streak is no one. Undertaker should have had that streak.
Yeah.
And that's my point with Ric Flair. Ric Flair is the dirtiest.
If you were going to end it, you should have ended it with Bray Wyatt.
Well, they should have put him over John Cena too. We always talk about that, and they dropped the ball on that because of their bad booking. You're absolutely correct about that, but I felt like Undertaker should have always had that streak. The same could be said with Ric Flair. I love the whole story of John Cena being the greatest of all time in this era. That's what Michael Cole says. But come on. You got Hulk Hogan.
First of all,
you got
Frankie,
Ric Flair.
is not even in my top 5 all time.
Come on.
Let me tell you like
man,
this.
let me lay the groundwork.
That's
down.
disrespectful.
Hold on.
No,
Let me back this up because John Cena is my GOAT. Okay. John Cena is the GOAT. Okay. When wrestling was not cool, when people walked away from wrestling, John Cena carried wrestling on his back.
What
John Cena has a presence about him that people just draw to him. He is the most requested Make-A-Wish person. He is a phenomenal person. I met him in person, and I'm going to tell you like this. This sounds messed up, and it probably does because he looked like a jobber. But his match with Kurt Angle, like something about him, like his persona, his presence, the way he would not back down and he would not give up against Kurt Angle.
Well, you said ruthless aggression and came in and punched him in the face. Yes.
I was like, dude, this guy's going to be big. I like this guy.
Well, I mean, you're exactly right. And a lot of people rooting for him to, eclipse Ric Flair. I'm not one of them. I think Flair should always have that record. But it is the history of the business.
But Peter, your top 5, you include Ric Flair in your top 5?
Yes, absolutely. How do you not? It's you've got to go with Hogan.
Hulk Hogan was the 80s.
Hogan,
Rock, Bruno Sammartino, Rock,
Sammartino's in there. Bruno Sammartino.
If I told you my
Undertaker,
top 4,
is the Undertaker in there too? The Rock,
the
is he in there?
In there.
Okay, so I was Stone Cold in there.
Yes. He should.
I mean, that's a lot of. There's a lot.
If I told you my personal top 4,
give me your top 4.
My Mount Rushmore of wrestling.
Okay.
You guys would probably yell or laugh at
No,
me.
Just go ahead. Go for it, man.
All right, here you go.
Give me some good ones.
Number one is John Cena.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Number 2, Eddie Guerrero.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Number 3 is The Miz. And number 4 is Bailey.
What? No, Frankie.
You just drove your car off a cliff. We got to rescue you.
Frankie, The Miz is a very respectable wrestler. He's done a great.
No, I'm saying this is my own personal.
Okay.
My personal favorite. This is not like, hey, this is the greatest of all time. No, this is my own personal.
Okay.
People that are my favorite of all time.
Okay.
Frankie, I can't find you. I need some more Duracells.
Listen, Frankie, we appreciate the call. Use the second call again for you. This is not your second call. You got to use the second call for Turnbuckle if you want to use it. Okay.
All right,
man. Appreciate it. Let me go out to Curtis here. I mean, we got phone calls, man. We got. Curtis, can you top that? He says The Miz, Bailey. That's his own personal 4 there. I mean,
I'm conflicted with my top 5.
Well, go for it. Let's go for the conflicted. I want to hear this, Curtis. Welcome to the Evolution.
Well, so for me, I'm always going to be a huge Ric Flair fan.
Of course. Do you think that John Cena should eclipse that record?
Yes.
Why?
This man carried wrestling for almost 20 years.
Wow. There's a point to that.
That man carried.
Although
honestly, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Peter.
No, it's okay.
If you think about after the Attitude Era,
yes,
it was John Cena,
yeah,
Batista,
Triple H,
Randy Orton, Edge, Triple H.
Okay.
And the Undertaker made appearances when he wanted to.
Okay, that's fair.
So for me, if you want to do top 5 all time, and I can't even do top 5 because I'll be leaving people out because you.
Well, leave some people. I want to hear your top 5. That's the question for the night. Turnbuckle webheads. Yes,
it's so hard.
Go for it.
I'm going to go.
Yes,
you could throw Dink and Doink in there.
You shut up, Mark.
I'm gonna say this. I would throw the Bushwhackers in there before Dink and Doink.
Yes, I think a lot of people would.
Or we would definitely Hey, we would definitely
Shut
throw
up,
in.
bro.
We would definitely throw in the Road Warriors before Dink and Dunk.
SD
I
Special Delivery
What?
Jones.
Who do you want board? Do you want the Road Warriors or the Steiners?
Oh, God.
Ooh, give me the
Oh, that's
Road
a good
Warriors.
one. They're the Steiners, actually. I
Give me
think
the
they
Road
won a
Warriors.
few more.
Well, I tell you
Yeah.
right now, the
Well,
Road Warriors
I tell you
in
what,
their
the
day.
Road Warriors were intimidating
Yes.
just coming out with them damn shoulder
And
pads.
remember, they had the Legion of Doom also now, Ralph.
Yeah. Okay, but I can give you
Yeah.
my top five.
Okay,
So
give it to
my
me.
top five. Give me Flair.
Okay.
Give me Cena.
Okay.
Give me Undertaker.
Okay.
As much as I love The Rock, give me Stone Cold.
Okay.
And give me Shawn Michaels.
Wow. That's not bad. That's not bad at
No, it's
all.
not bad. Top five
That's
at all.
really
Because-
good.
And then my next two
Okay.
would be The Rock and Edge.
I like it. The opportunist there. Edge never really gets talked about, but should. He definitely had some part in wrestling. I still think you go with Stone Cold and The
Dude,
Rock and Hogan.
Shawn Michaels.
Mhm.
Shawn Michaels. This guy, people forget how great Shawn Michaels was.
I agree.
And you know, we all as wrestling fans,
Yeah.
those WrestleManias with The Rock, with Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker, those are two of the greatest matches I've ever seen in my life.
I'm telling you. I mean, the Shawn Michaels and Undertaker rivalry was unbelievable. Those matches at WrestleMania were unbelievable. And I think Triple H and Undertaker were pretty good too, but they weren't Shawn Michaels
they
caliber.
weren't on that level.
No.
And then even think about it. When Michaels fought Stone Cold the first time, that match was great. His matches with Bret Hart, those were great. Even though it was the Montreal Screwdriver, it was still a great match.
Yes.
You know, he had a Shawn Michaels after he came out of retirement. He had an hour-long Iron Man match with John Cena on Monday Night Raw for the title.
Correct.
Like, they forget the severity of matches this guy has been through.
Yes.
Like, Shawn Michaels is the guy.
He's a guy that went away from wrestling. Now, remember, and this is why I think Triple H deserves consideration for one of the greats of all time. And as crazy as that sounds, he does. And this is why, because of the curtain call, because Shawn Michaels went away with injury with his back, came back in 2002. Kevin Nash left for WCW. Scott Hall left. Triple H was going to be he was going to be a main eventer, and then he went down to mid card and started jobbing to people. But he stood there. He took it. He took everything from Vince. He took everything, jobbed out, and still made his career. I definitely think you can consider Triple H, and right now he's running WWE with Creed and everything else as one of the greats.
One thing I love about Triple H is
Yep.
Triple H took what he wanted.
Yep.
That storyline where he ran over Stone Cold with the car.
Yep.
He put himself in the championship matches by taking out the top guy.
Yes. He was the
And
cerebral assassin.
That was the storyline.
Yes.
And then he had Evolution.
Yes.
And then he was in DX. And like, you can't take anything from Triple H. But if you have to go back and just Shawn Michaels, there's something about that guy. Man. He's not bigger than anyone.
Nope.
He's not stronger than anyone.
Nope.
But you know this guy is going to come to the ring and he's going to give you every last breath
Yes.
in his body.
Yes.
Every single night.
Yes. Agree. All right. So we got your top five. Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble at this point? Is it going to be CM Punk? Is that a foregone conclusion at this point, or do you see somebody else doing it?
Listen, here's the bad thing. Ralph and Mark, are you guys there?
They're here, man.
Yeah, we're here.
I want you guys to listen to me very closely. This is the first year in a long time that we don't know who's going to win the Royal Rumble.
Wow.
Yeah, there's so many stars.
I really feel like that because here's the thing. Yes, CM Punk has a great storyline. John Cena has a great storyline.
Mm-hmm.
Seth Rollins has a great storyline. Jey Uso has a great storyline. As much as some people don't like him, Sami Zayn has a great storyline.
He does. Absolutely.
There is so many storylines that could lead us. I mean, I heard what Frankie was saying about the final two and the Brock Lesnar. I mean, maybe. I think that's taking a little over the top.
Yeah, me too.
I think for me, the final six is going to be Punk, Roman, Cena, Rollins, McIntyre,
Whoa,
Jey Uso. That's going to be your final six.
It's pretty good. That's pretty good. Good stuff, Curtis. Anything else here on the Evolution, my friend?
Just do this. I'm excited. I think the Cody and the KO match is going to. I think it's going to be physical.
Let me ask you this, Curtis, before you leave. Do you think that Cody's title reign has lived up to the story, if you will, the finishing of the story before the story? Do you think it's lived up to? Because I think in some parts it's been good, in others it's been kind of a little bit flat. Do you agree with that?
Well, yes, and I'm going to tell you this, but that is what they needed, because they had to take the title off of Roman.
Okay.
And everybody has tried to take the title off of Roman, but Cody, there's a light inside of Cody.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to see this guy succeed.
Sure.
You don't want to see him fail. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't get me wrong. I love McIntyre. I love Punk.
Right.
I love Rollins. And all these guys have had their shots. But there is just something about Cody. I'm going to tell you what Cody reminds me of. Cody reminds me of when Cena first came out.
Okay.
And he has that never give up attitude.
Right.
Because and that's what it is. You know, Cody's the same. He's not the biggest. He's not the strongest. He's not the fastest. He's not anything. But you know, when he goes out there, just like Shawn Michaels, that guy is going to give you every breath in his body, and he can rock the mic. You know, he's. I mean, we live in a world nowadays where we have these all around superstars.
Mm-hmm.
Drew McIntyre. You know what? If Drew McIntyre could wrestle in any generation. He's huge.
Yes.
He's a good bad guy.
Yes.
Good bad guy.
Very good hill. Yes.
You know, he can rock the mic, and you can't wait to hear him talk because he's got that Scottish accent, and you're like, God, this guy's an asshole, but I love him.
Yes, you got to love that. I got this question here. I'm going to throw this out there really quick. So you guys, Curtis, before we leave here, final boss will be the surprise guy in the Rumble. You agree with that?
Yes. Yeah, he's going to be.
I think he could be too.
If he does, he's going to be number 30.
All right, so my friend, we appreciate
he's going to be number 30 because guess what? Hollywood can't afford for their big money maker to get hurt again.
Love it. Love it, man. Good stuff. Appreciate you, Curtis. Use that second call if you want to, okay?
Yep.
All right, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. I have to keep it down because my roommates are sleeping. It's the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with former XPW announcer, Mr. Mark Mancini, and, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams, talking turnbuckle talk a couple days away from the Royal Rumble. Let's read some of these comments. We threw it out there, webheads. Who is your top 5? Who do you think is going to win the Royal Rumble? And is it a foregone conclusion that
it's a flip of the coin for the Royal Rumble this year, Peter? Flip of the coin.
Flip of the coin. All right.
The coin up. Yep.
I love it. Let's go out to Rob here. Since WWE has moved to Netflix, the product has gone bad.
Yep.
Do we agree with that, Mark?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have Netflix, so I can't watch it. I got to read the recaps.
And you don't you think it's gone bad?
I do because they took it off a network that was pretty prominent and moved it. Sometimes, it's kind of like, having good food in a place, and then you say to yourself, well, maybe I can expand this and move a couple, miles away into another city and take my food over there. And you know what? The grass is not always greener on the other side. I think the WWE might come back and regret this. And the prices have gone up ever since they've sold this thing. I've heard, the price of tickets for some of these events. My buddy just bought tickets for the WrestleMania in Vegas. It was almost $1,000, he said, $800 and something. So TKO is jacking the prices up here, I think.
Ralph, what do you think?
$700 for front row seats at PPG Paints Arena. $700.
Has the product suffered, guys? Because I thought the whole, coming out there the first night, I thought it was disappointing. I thought it was flat. I thought it was really disappointing to see the final boss out of character is Dwayne Johnson. Ralph, do you think WWE has suffered by going to Netflix?
Well, I hear the ratings are down and Netflix is not happy. Seems like WWE, it's just not happening. They thought they were going to get more subscribers. They thought they were going to get, all these viewers. And from what I understand, it's not. The viewership is down when Raw's on, and it's down more than it was for USA because, as Mark mentioned, not everybody has Netflix, and not everybody wants Netflix, and not everybody needs it. I mean, I have Netflix because I like to watch Cobra Kai. I like to watch The Lincoln Lawyer. I like to watch some of them things, and now they're doing sports and everything. And, that Paul Tyson fight laid an egg. I mean, so, Netflix, I don't know. I just, it doesn't seem right on Netflix sports.
Let's go out to the phone lines here. Sun Devil Dave, you're on Turnbuckle Talk.
Great job, guys. Great job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Love you guys. Hey, I'm boycotting the Super Bowl, by the way. I'm going to go play pickleball.
That's
Sunday.
it. Pickleball for you.
He's a good
Mark's a pickleball champion.
There you go, guys. There you go.
They're going to win the Super Bowl.
We don't. First of all, we don't know where Philadelphia is, being from Pittsburgh, Ralph and I. Second of all, the Skins are out, so I can care less. Probably take the wife out.
All right, Sun Devil Dave. So you made the feelings known here, so you're gonna go play
I
pickleball.
thought of you, Peter. Hey, real fast, because I know I got to get out. I hate to get out, but the granddaughters are calling.
Okay.
Real fast, I thought of you when the Skins Bucs game was going on. That was a classic, and then to go into Detroit and beat their ass. But I'll tell you, I tried to say this before Turnbuckle Talk. Two teams you got to watch out for, and I'm a stone's throw away from where the Rams practice. Keep your eyes on the Rams and the Skins. The Skins got a lot of money to spend this offseason.
Well, it's good. It's a good point, Mark. We appreciate the time as always, man. Priorities.
I hate to leave you guys, man. I love you.
I love you too, bro. We'll see you next Wednesday. All right.
God bless you, Ralph, Peter.
See you later, buddy.
Harry too.
We'll do, my friend. We'll do. All right. Let's get the madman out of here. Let's come back to the two shot here. Go ahead, Sun Devil Dave. What's on your mind?
Real quick, the top five. I'm going to go number 5, Brock Lesnar.
Wow. Okay.
And there's a reason behind that. John Cena actually went on and quoted saying that his performance in that Rumble, remember he came in at number 1, he was going to try to win the Rumble.
Yeah.
He stayed till the end.
Yes.
He thought it was probably the best in-ring performance he's ever seen in his life.
So it's pretty damn good. Yeah.
Number 4, I'm going to go with Stone Cold.
Okay.
3 is The Rock. 2 is Flair.
Okay.
And of course, I got to go, even though not politically correct, but I'm going to go with Hulk Hogan because I grew up watching Hulk Hogan, and I thought basically you wouldn't have Titan Towers, you wouldn't have Netflix, you wouldn't have WWE.
Which, by the way, they just sold Titan Towers for like $3.75 million with all the history of that, and they're going to make it apartments. How is that possible with all the history that somebody wouldn't buy that up and not make it apartments? I don't know. All right, good list there, Sun Devil Dave. I like it.
And then CM Punk, I think, will win the Rumble. And real quick, I need help here. Ralph, you're on there, right?
Yeah, Ralph's here.
Yes, I am. I'm here.
Need some help. Okay. Seth Rollins basically was the first World Heavyweight Champion. Remember when they brought that title out because Reigns wasn't around, part-time champion, all that.
Correct.
So with Rollins, I think it went Rollins, and I think it went Priest, and then Gunther. So this Gunther guy, okay, I know he's got a great history and wrestled overseas. He came from England, Germany, and England, and all that, right?
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I'm losing something here, man. He just doesn't. Why is he champion? I mean, do people really adore and admire Gunther? I mean, people are going crazy for Gunther. I mean, is he a merchandising guy?
I think
he's flat. I don't think he's that good.
He's a great worker in the ring. He's not great on the mic, but he's a great worker in the ring. He's a great heel. He's definitely paid his dues. He's done everything backstage. He doesn't have heat on him. I mean, Ralph, what's the attraction to Gunther?
Yeah,
well, the attraction is the fact, as you mentioned, he's a good wrestler. I respect him for the fact of that. And, there's been times I've sat around and actually, predicted Gunther's going to win this match. I didn't expect him to lose to Sami Zayn, but, that's the way it is. That's the way they put it together. But anyway, Gunther, you're right, is dull on the mic. And then when he does talk, I like that little insult or little crack he throws in there every now and again. It's kind of like having like a what they call it, a dry sense of humor. Yeah, I like it.
I do too. I definitely do. And I think, Triple H likes heels. He was a heel himself. He likes heels. He likes hard workers. And that's exactly, and that's the reason why also Damian Priest got a push there, because he's a hard worker and he did everything and he worked with Bad Bunny and everything else like that. So they paid their dues, and that's Triple H is all about that. He's definitely about guys that are going to work hard, care about the business, and do everything for that business.
Now, what do you think about? I know, Gunther. Okay, I agree. He's a Triple H guy and he's a great worker in the ring. But what do you think about Uso, LA Knight, Breaker? I mean, do you think these guys? What's going to happen with Gunther at WrestleMania?
I mean, listen, LA Knight's definitely over with the crowd, right? I think he's still over. He's still good on the mic. He could still wrestle. I think there's definitely something for him. I don't know what that is. It's a good problem to have. Jey Uso got lots of talent. He's a main eventer. It's a good problem. You got to figure this out. But I agree with you. LA Knight, Jey Uso, those would be guys that you could maybe make dark horses to win the Royal Rumble and say, wow, I can't believe they did that. Maybe they go in a different direction like that to push one of those guys, because, LA Knight, he doesn't need to be pushed. He's already over. He's waiting for that opportunity. We're all waiting for that opportunity. Been waiting for that opportunity in the last couple of years. And Jey Uso, he's just beginning. He's just scratching the surface at this point.
I think it's going to be, CM Punk Rhodes main event. But then do you think Gunther's going to take on like Uso? Maybe even Logan Paul or LA Knight. What do you think?
I don't see Logan Paul. Because Logan Paul had some comments about Bad Bunny, so they may set up a Logan Paul Bad Bunny match for celebrities.
Don't forget, Logan Paul's got a fight coming up with Conor McGregor real soon.
Well, he's also got a fight with his brother in March on Max, Jake Paul. I don't know if anybody asked for that, but it'll be interesting to see how they promote that. But you're exactly right. So, they got a good problem to have. I don't know. It's a great question, Dave.
I think they brought Logan Paul in for this match, guys, is to to boost the ratings up, which of course always happens. They have a great lineup for this Royal Rumble. That's why I held the coin up. It's a coin flip. I mean, it really is. I can't sit here and even tell you who I think is going to do it. I'm just going to sit here and watch it and see. We'll see what happens.
I did see, when they had Paul and they had Rollins and McIntyre. I mean, you possibly see maybe Rollins, McIntyre, Gunther triple threat.
That would be great. That'd be tremendous. Yeah. Take my money at that point. Yeah, why not? I mean, you have the history there with Rollins and McIntyre from last year's WrestleMania. You have that, and then you also have Gunther, who's the guy that everybody wants to beat, and then you could possibly see Gunther taking the title because that promotes him even more, or maybe you put the title on McIntyre because he's done well with his work with CM Punk and that rivalry and everything else, him being on the mic. He's been tremendous also with Cody. So
he was champion for 52 seconds. 2 minutes.
52. Yeah, you're exactly right. Exactly right. So there is some history there. Good stuff, Sun Devil Dave. What else?
Thank you, guys. I think that's it for tonight, but I really appreciate everything you guys do.
Yeah, man.
Great show as always. I was running a little late, and I appreciate your insights. I'll catch up with you later. Again, I'll be playing pickleball on Sunday.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.
There you go. Subscribe to his YouTube channel, and we appreciate you, Sun Devil Dave. Use that second call if you like to, okay?
All right. Go Devils.
All right. Go Devils right there. Sun Devil Dave, open phone line, 727-255-0391 at 727-255-0391. Speaking of second calls, let's go out to one of my favorite webheads, Mr. Curtis. Curtis, go ahead. You're on Turnbuckle Talk.
So my second call for the night, I'm interested because isn't Elimination Chamber still after?
Yes, it is.
Because
it's between WrestleMania and Royal Rumble.
We've seen titles change before. Yes.
So what I'm thinking is, whoever wins the Royal Rumble, they usually pick their opponent before the Elimination Chamber.
Correct.
Which means the heavyweight champ that is not defending their title, they usually defend their title in the Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania.
Correct. Absolutely.
So when the guy that just was on the phone called, and he was talking about Seth and Drew and Gunther, I mean, I could see them in the elimination chamber with Jay, and then them bringing somebody like LA Knight over, and who else could we put in there? It's got to be a sixth person.
McIntyre.
Well, you got McIntyre, Seth, Gunther,
Got CM
Jay.
Punk, you got McIntyre, you got you could put LA Knight in there. You could put
Well, yeah, that's what I said. You got
Rollins.
LA Knight.
Yeah.
You got LA Knight,
Yeah.
Jay,
And if Randy Orton
Rollins.
comes back.
Well, and there it could be Randy Orton. You got John Cena. You could
John
also
Cena.
have
you could put Cena. And see, that's why, like, that's why this is so intriguing about the Royal Rumble, because you have the Elimination Chamber.
Yep.
And you know the Elimination Chamber is also going to determine who's going to fight for that title.
Correct.
At WrestleMania, that the WrestleMania winner doesn't choose.
Yes.
You know, and it's just like this. You know what I love about wrestling right now is we don't know what the next thing that's going to happen is.
Yes, I agree.
I mean, when Cody won the Royal Rumble for the second time, we knew he was going to beat Roman Reigns.
Yep.
Everybody knew he was going to beat Roman Reigns. Like, you know, it was kind of boring, but because we kind of got tired of seeing Roman, we all wanted to see it happen. And they made a huge spectacle of it. After, you know, Cody won, the whole entire locker room was in the ring with him.
Correct.
You know, and
amazing.
For
amazing moment.
Yeah. And then for me, like Monday night, Sami Zayn, when he ran into CM Punk, he told CM Punk, You've never main event at WrestleMania.
Well,
so go ahead, bro.
No, that's true. You're absolutely correct, and that may be the storyline of this year. It may be CM Punk headlining it.
And you know, I don't take anything away from Gunther. The guy is super talented.
Sure,
he is in the ring. He's super talented. I love his jabs. I forgot he took a jab at Bret Hart or something, and was like how Bret Favre was his favorite. And then he was like, "No, I think Bret Hart sucks." And I was on the floor crying because it was like the funniest thing I ever saw.
I think he took a shot at Goldberg, and
that's right.
And
yes,
said Bret Hart was his favorite or something along those lines. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was hilarious.
It was.
But anyway, he's another one of those guys that plays a great bad guy, and he can wrestle his ass off.
Yes.
You know, that match between him and Jay at Saturday Night Main Event, that was a great match.
Yes,
it was.
And
Saturday Night's Main Event has been pretty good, Curtis. It really has.
Oh,
I mean, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's in the spotlight. It's on NBC. They have to come up with the mega card.
Yeah. And I mean, I love the Rhea Ripley and the Nia Jax whole storyline. Like that was awesome to me.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just like wrestling is interesting again because you don't know what's going to happen.
You don't know what's going to happen, but it's also
that was the crazy thing about the John Cena era, because you know John Cena was the man. You never knew what was going to happen weekly when John Cena happened. Like I remember, I don't want to hold you guys up all night.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember when the Nexus used to come out and beat up John Cena every week.
Yep.
Every week.
They ruined that gimmick, by the way, because Nexus could have been.
They did, but at first it was hilarious.
Yes.
It was.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and then you had John Cena and Batista. That was one of the John Cena, Batista, John Cena, Randy Orton, John Cena, Edge. Those are some great
John Cena, Triple H.
Oh
John Cena, Rock.
John Cena, CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With CM Punk leaving. Yes.
Listen, don't get me wrong. We love Ric Flair. We love this guy.
Yes.
Ric Flair, when it comes to wrestling, you got to if you want to beat the man, you got to beat the man, or whatever he said.
Yes. In order to beat the man, you got to beat the man. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Ric Flair is the effing guy when it comes to wrestling.
Yes.
But John Cena is right there because this guy goes out there and he wins the matches. and nobody expects him to win. When he beat the Undertaker for his first heavyweight title, nobody expected him to beat the Undertaker.
No.
Nobody.
I think he beat Big Show. Did he not beat the Big Show for the title there?
No, you know what? It was JBL.
It was JBL, but it was also
there were some good matches between Cena and JBL too.
Yeah. JBL took over the company there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Him and the Undertaker early in their career.
Yep.
I remember one of my favorite matches was he had a street fight with Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
And he had to wrap the chain around his hand.
Yes.
And punch Lesnar in the face to beat him.
Yep. I agree.
And then you can even think about it. He had that. It was a great match with him and CM Punk.
Yep.
When didn't he cash in the Money in the Bank on CM Punk?
I don't know if he.
But he didn't. He didn't do it like everybody else. He was a straight up match.
Well, what happened was CM Punk at the time, and we got to run here, but really quick, CM Punk left the company because there was some strife going on, and then of course they gave John Cena won the belt. And then as John Cena wins the belt, CM Punk took the belt. He comes back, and of course, they had their match with both of those belts on the line. Who was the real belt? And I believe, did CM Punk win out over Cena?
He did.
Okay.
He did, because that was
great storyline. Yeah.
That was right after. That was right before. No. That match was after. CM Punk dropped the pop bomb on Raw.
That's correct. That is correct. And I'll throw something else out there, Curtis. We got to run because we got Frankie. But Joe Henry, who's now the TNA title holder because of the combination of WWE and Triple H and Scott D'Amore now running NXT and TNA coming together. Who's to say that Joe Henry doesn't come out in the Rumble? Maybe he's one of the final 6. Curtis, thanks a lot for the call, man.
I love that. I got one more for both of you guys.
Yes, go for it.
The thing that I would love to see,
yes,
more than anything else in the world is because Seth hates Roman's guts right now.
Sure.
And he would love to be one-on-one in the ring with Roman for 90 seconds. I would love to see that, and then I would love to see Dean Ambrose's music hit. And him come to the ring.
Yeah, I just don't see it happening. That's what I thought was going to happen. But Moxley is AEW at this point. But it'd be great.
Oh yeah, he ain't going nowhere. He's the man in AEW.
Yeah, he's the man. Well, Listen, he's the man in AEW. But right now, AEW is struggling mightily with their ratings and Cinemax. Max not even promoting them. I mean,
hey, you know what?
Good,
all I know is all of us. I got a birthday coming up, and I'll be 40.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday.
Now that I'm finna be 40
happy birthday, Curtis.
Hey, thank you, sir. Hey, all I can tell you is money talks and bullshit walks. That's all I can tell.
That's it, man. That's it. If we learn anything. All right, Curtis. Thanks a lot for the calls, man. Appreciate you. Good stuff. I see you, Frankie. Let's read these comments really quick. And we'll continue on because this has been a great show full of interaction. Man, the old ECW was the best. Absolutely. Michael Golf. Thanks a lot for tuning in. OG, Sabu, Sandman, Dudley Brothers. Who could forget Raven? How about Tommy Dreamer? How about the whole effing show and Rob Van Dam? I mean, some great ECW wrestlers moments.
You know who was in ECW, Peter? Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yes, as the ringmaster. He actually
don't forget Terry Funk. And don't forget Mick Foley.
Yes, absolutely. Cactus Jack. Frankie, WTF, your list is definitely no one else's. Rob, Hulk Hogan, Flair, The Rock, Stone Cold, Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is another good one.
Yeah.
Very good.
You know what?
He
wasn't so much a good wrestler, but he was good with the mic, and he was a good character. I mean, he was a good wrestler, but he wasn't that,
To me, he's right up there with Chris Jericho. Like that's who I like. We don't you appreciate like a Jericho. Like Jericho's great on the mic. He's been able to change his character. He's a great technical wrestler, nothing spectacular, but we should respect him more as we respect Roddy Piper. Yeah. Road Warriors rocked. Absolutely. Let's go out to Michael Genn, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Stone Cold. Frankie, you can call back if you want to. There's so many great wrestlers. There's no ranking them in just the top 5. But we did Christopher Cole. We gave you that opportunity. I like Triple H too. But
And I want to thank
Blue Bloods,
Christopher. He's been watching a lot of my shows. So I want to thank him
Christopher's
for that.
great. We are the
Yes, he
nation of
is.
domination. Love that. So Dusty Rhodes and Midnight Rider before a lot of people time. First match I ever saw, St. Pete Bayfront Center, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream versus Ric Flair. It sucks that if you
How about
call
the Rock and Roll Express's tag team. I mean, they were pretty good, you know.
Midnight
They're
Express
still at it too.
Yes, absolutely. All right. We'll continue to read some of these comments here. I'm getting okay, yes. It sucks that you call the baby. It's never been done. Patrick Mahomes is going to get sacked like an effing sandwich. We should eat him up for lunch. Yeah, nobody's going to effing sense against okay. I guess I kind of understand that. Terry Funk, he wrestled everywhere. He did. Terry Funk never gets he never gets the recognition. You know, he was not just a hardcore guy, but he did wrestle everywhere. Final Boss will be a surprise guy in the Rumble. Michael says, yep. Christopher Cole says, I don't watch live, but I do watch the replay and it goes on without commercials. So with that being said, who's your pick to win the Royal Rumble? And I guess we'll talk a little more and then we'll wrap it up. And then who's your final 5, Ralph? Your 5.
Okay, Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Stone Cold Steve Austin, John Cena, and The Rock.
Wow. And I'll tell you another guy that has not been mentioned tonight. How about Sting?
Yes, exactly. Yes, Sting. I you know what? I completely forgot about Sting. You know, it was sad his WWE career kind of ended early, you know. But he came back in AEW. He did.
I did not agree with him and Triple H going over on him in that WrestleMania match.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense for the NWO to come out, but it was cool for them to fight finally D-Generation X, even if it was 20 to 25 years, a little bit too late. And then he comes back to wrestle Seth Rollins, and Rollins gives him the buckle bomb, which messes up his neck and messes him all together. And he never really had that run that he could have had, what could have been. Right. And of course, we didn't get a chance to see Sting versus The Undertaker. That was probably one of the biggest regrets, I think, in wrestling business, that it never.
Undertaker wanted to fight him before he retired, but that never happened because he had a contract with AEW.
Correct.
You know.
Correct. All right.
You know, and he's still with AEW. He's like a Mark Henry. He just goes around and shakes hands with people and shows up at events. Mark Henry is back in the full with WWE and TNA and all that stuff. So,
yeah, absolutely. All right. This came out from PW Insider today. Paul Triple H Levesque was informed at a company town hall today that he is in second induction into the WWE Hall of Fame. He will headline the 2025 ceremony. The WWE's chief creative officer was surprised with the news by his wife, Stephanie McMahon, WWE President Nick Khan, NXT head honcho, and Levesque longtime friend Shawn Michaels, and fellow Hall of Famer The Undertaker. The game was said to be caught off guard. This will be the second induction for Triple H, making him the 10th wrestler twice enshrined in WWE's Hall of Fame. His first was in 2019 as a member of D-Generation X with Shawn X-Pac Waltman, Road Dogg, Billy Gunn, Chyna, and Michaels. This will be a solo honor. As a wrestler, Triple H is a 14-time WWE World Champion, 5-time Intercontinental Champ, 2-time WWE Tag Team title holder, won the Royal Rumble, main evented WrestleMania on 7 different occasions, retired in 2022 after a 2021 cardiac incident and surgery, but hadn't wrestled since 2019. What do we think of Triple H headlining the Hall of Fame in 2025?
I like it. He deserves it. I mean, you know, not only does he contribute in wrestling, he's contributing as an executive for the WWE. There's not a lot of guys that can say that. I like that idea because they need a headliner. And I'd like to see Batista get his. But you know, I don't know if that's going to happen because he was supposed to get his when COVID happened and they canceled it, and so he never got his, you know, Hall of Fame ring. So you know, or never got inducted or anything because of COVID.
Yeah, you gotta love COVID. All right, so the 2K game came out the other night. Did you see the reveal with Roman Reigns on the cover. What did you think of that with Paul Heyman out there?
That's nice. It's good to see Roman back. You asked me my pick for Royal Rumble, and I said flip a coin. It just reminded me Roman Reigns is in this. I think he's going to win it, and I think he's going to come back. He's going to make a comeback. I think he's going to get a bloodline together. I hear some of a few more of the cousins are coming in, the Fatus. So we're going to find out. We're going to see what happens. I like, yeah. And then it's great that he's on the cover again. It's good to see him back. He played a good role as a heel. He did what he had to do. He ran his
4
course.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Ed Gross, Peter the Great, thank you very much for tuning in on Instagram Live. Miss Mary, I see you also tuning in. Thank you very much for the support there. This is what Paul Heyman had to say about the honor. I'm personally and professionally excited that the original and only tribal chief and the extended Anoa'i family are the focus of WWE 2K25. This is from Roman Reigns, excuse me. We've been building toward this moment for generations, and I challenge players everywhere to show me and the wise men, Paul Heyman, what they got and prove they're worthy of the attention of their tribal chief. And of course, it is the Bloodline Dynasty mode, which the roster will include 300 wrestlers, including superstars, legends, and Hall of Famers, from John Cena and The Rock to Stone Cold Steve Austin, Trish Stratus, and more. Do you get into these 2K wrestling video games, and what is the greatest wrestling game you ever played in your life, if you do play wrestling games?
I haven't. I'm lucky if I play my Atari. It's been sitting there collecting dust.
Wow. Okay. Well, I would say
I don't play any of those. I haven't played any of those games in a long time. I had an old Nintendo I used to play, but I don't even play that anymore. I'm
trying to think. It was WCW versus NWO, or WCW versus the World, which was a great video game at the time. I believe it was on N64. That was a great game. And then the one that I always remember is 2002 with, I believe, Brock Lesnar and Triple H on the cover. Shut Up and Just Bring It. That was a great wrestling game because they had like all kinds of storylines and stuff. I'm a video game head. I love video games. So I may look, I'm try to get a PS5, try to maybe play some game here. 300 wrestlers, looking forward to. And again, the standard edition is $69.99, Deadman edition $99.99, and the Bloodline edition a grand total of $130. And I believe.
Don't worry, Peter. Everybody will rush out to get it. So.
Oh, absolutely. And again,
I have a question for you, Peter. Who do you think the new bloodline with Roman Reigns is going to be constructed? I'm looking at the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and one or two of the other Fatu cousins. That's what I look at.
I heard Zilla. I don't think. I think eventually Jacob is going to take over. Because Solo, and I like Solo. I think he's getting better and better on the mic. Yeah. He's getting more comfortable. But right now, Jacob Fatu, in my opinion, is going to be the new leader eventually of that new bloodline. But I think with Roman Reigns, who knows who they're going to bring in. But again, it includes for the 2K showcase, it's officially the Bloodline Dynasty, hosted by Heyman himself. It celebrates both the Bloodline and the extended Anoa'i family. It features Reigns, Jacob Fatu, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Yokozuna, and more. Did you know Yokozuna was a part of that Anoa'i dynasty?
No, I did. Well, I actually heard he was, yes. And also so was Umaga. I heard he was part of that too.
Yeah.
So
this is what Paul Heyman had to say. He admits that he would be the last person one would expect to host a video game, given that he, in his own words, is a fat, bald Jewish kid from the Bronx. But the fact that he is the host of the Bloodline Dynasty speaks to the relationship that WWE has with their audience, and the audience will embrace the wisdom as bestowed upon them by the wise man. He also says, I would hope it's even bigger than that, sir. I hope they are dramatically understating my impact on the video game world, the disruption within the billions of dollars, and the stock options that I hope to be offered by both TKO and TTWO, which is the parent company of 2K Sports. So there you go on that. We talked about not Jake Paul, but Logan Paul, his comments about Bad Bunny. He said, I saw online something crazy. I saw Bad Bunny saying it's a fact in the world he used that he is the greatest celebrity wrestler there is. people commenting Logan Paul this, Logan Paul that. Here is my take on that. I actually think he's right. Bad Bunny is a fantastic celebrity wrestler. Keyword celebrity. I am a wrestler, born and raised and bred. Do not compare me to him. There is a difference between a pop star named after a rabbit and a superstar they call the Maverick. Levels to this S. If you ever want to run it, okay, Mr. Bunny? Maverick, like me, will eat bunnies like you for breakfast. How are you looking forward to this match? Because I kind of am. Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny is a good wrestler. Logan Paul is a good wrestler. They're both pretty good on the mic. It's got celebrity appeal. This is WrestleMania right here. WrestleMania 41. This could steal the show. You're not looking forward to Logan Paul versus Bad Bunny?
I'm not a Logan Paul fan. I can't stand the guy. I don't think he should be in the WWE. He's a part-timer. And, I know why they bring him around all the time. When he had the Intercontinental belt, I thought he shouldn't have had it. And, or the U.S. belt or whatever he was holding. I don't like him at all. I don't like him around WWE. He should just box like his brother or go do something else for himself. You know what I mean? He has his energy beverage, and then he has that Wheatley vodka or whiskey or whatever that is. That's him, and he's got a bunch of stuff. So wrestling is something I just don't like him in. I mean, he can just stay away because you got a lot of guys, Peter, that work real hard on this job, and it's sad to see that somebody like Logan Paul comes in, and tries to steal the show from everybody.
Yeah, but I would say Logan Paul works very hard himself. Even though he's a celebrity, he definitely knows what he's doing when it comes to the ring. He's great on the mic, and he's great for WWE overall because he is that social media guy that they need to appeal to the fringe wrestling fan, if you will, especially when it comes to WrestleMania season. With that being said, let's wrap it up there. Ralph, give me some final thoughts here on Turnbuckle Talk.
Well, it's going to be an interesting Royal Rumble. We're going to find out how far that goes. And as far as the cons go, they can't even run their own football team, and they can't run a wrestling company either. So, the cons are, 0 for 2 as far as businesses like that go.
Yeah, I wanted to read that comment here because it was a good comment by Rob Thompson. He talked about AEW. Really quick, he says, if AEW could get better writers, I think their roster could make their show better with better storylines. Absolutely. Comment of the year right there. They don't know how to write.
Well, you know something, Peter? They're back to Daly's place now. They were at that Hammer Stick Ballroom or whatever it's called there in Brooklyn for the longest time. They were there for months. So they're not traveling around like they used to with these shows. They're staying in one place again, like TNA does. And sometimes that's smart because all that travel like that's what beat up WCW. That's what beat up some of these other companies too. TNA, I remember when they used to travel around all over the place.
Right.
WWE is the only one who can do it.
It's true. You're absolutely correct about that. And then he had this idea, throw this out there. Hogan is getting jacked up. Is there any way he becomes Hollywood Hogan, the leader of the new NWO, as a manager with CM Punk and a few others? I think the NWO is buried in debt, but you never know. But I definitely think they're going to take advantage of Hogan being a heel. They should take advantage of him being Hollywood Hogan, especially with him being booed. What do you think about Hogan?
He's coming back as Mr. America.
Stop.
Remember Mr. America?
Oh, my God. Yeah. All right. Ralph, on that note, appreciate the time, my friend. All right. We'll see you next week.
Hey, I got a top 5 wrestler for you, the Boogeyman.
Oh, God. The Boogeyman. All right. Good stuff, my friend. Get out of here. All right. Let's go out to Rob here. Cena was no Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan, not even the top 5. I don't see the moveset, but I definitely understand where, some people feel like he was a major part of wrestling, which he has been for the last 20 years. Say whatever you want to about his 4 or 5 moves of doom, but he was great on the mic. He could definitely sell, and he could definitely make some money for WWE. Thanks a lot to all the guests of the night. Of course, Harry the Greek, professional handicapper extraordinaire, the bodyguard of the Berg, Mr. Ralph Williams, and of course, the Madman being back in the building. It's great to have you, my friend, Mr. Mark Mancini, former XPW announcer. We'll see what happens with the Royal Rumble. I have to keep it down. I feel like I'm talking in a monotone voice, but that's okay. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Friend me on Facebook at Peter H. Blake. Royal Rumble is Saturday in Indianapolis. Who do you like? Who's going to win? Who are your top 5 wrestlers of all time? All those questions are out there. Super Bowl 59, do you care? Who do you want to see the Bucs hire as an offensive coordinator? We'll be talking about it through the week here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Once again, I'm your host, Peter Blake, your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. And as always, go Bucs.